good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. This is Matchday Live. It is Arsenal versus Luton from the Emirates. All coming up the other side of this. So it is Matchday Live, Arsenal versus Luton from the Emirates. Luton's first ever visit, actually, to the Emirates Stadium. So it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? I'm sure. Let's see how it goes, of course, for Arsenal tonight. So I suppose we've got some team news, don't we? It's an interesting team lineup, isn't it? So this is how the teams line up then for this game tonight. So for Arsenal then, a few changes. David Raya in goal. The back four is Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko comes in at left back. In midfield, there's some changes. Thomas Partey, Emil Smith-Rowe, Martin Ødegaard. Wow. And then in the front three, Reece Nelson and Leandro Trossard are either side of Kai Havertz. So that is the Arsenal lineup. On the bench, Aaron Ramsdale, Takahiro Tomiyasu, Jacob Kiwior, Declan Rice, Jorginho, Fabio Vieira, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and Eddie Nketiah for Luton. And this is how they line up. Thomas Kaminski in goal, Daka Hashioka in defence alongside Tejan Menji and Issa Kabore. In midfield, Andros Townsend, Polly and Penzu, Ross Barkley and Alfie Doherty, Jordan Clark and Fred Bonendimia, and they are behind a striker, Carlton Morris. So that's your lineups. And what do we think of them? What do you think of that team lineup tonight then? Interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. Nathan says, hi, Rich, hope all is well. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Is Arteta feeling okay? Well, I mean, there's been a bit of a meltdown on social media, hasn't there, with the team lineup? But the way I look at it is this. You've got to rotate your squad. I've said it for a long time. You don't win league titles, you don't win big trophies by picking the same 11 players every week. You know, you have to rotate your squad, and that's what he's done tonight. Will it be good enough to beat this Luton team? It should be. We're Arsenal. Any 11 players that line up for Arsenal against Luton at home should win. And if we don't win, then what are these players doing at Arsenal? This is the question that we would need to ask, wouldn't we? But yeah, I mean, I think it's a team that should be good enough to beat Luton. Is it a team we want to see every week playing in the Premier League? No, absolutely not. Of course it isn't. But this team isn't going to play every week in the Premier League, are they? So it doesn't matter. Some of these players need some minutes. We might need them in the run into the season. You know, Thomas Partey hasn't played much this season. Smith-Rowe, we know he hasn't played much. Reece Nelson. These are all players that maybe need the minutes tonight. So it's an opportunity for them, isn't it? So let's see how they perform, how they get on. And let's hope that they give a good performance and we can win the game, which we should do. Get your score predictions in then, guys. What are we thinking for the score tonight? Obviously, Arsenal should win, even though it's a slightly much changed lineup. I think Arsenal will win fairly comfortably. I'm going to go 3-0. I think it'll end up 3-0 to Arsenal tonight. Not really too many surprises here. I think, you know, it might be difficult for a spell, but I think we'll eventually make the breakthrough, get a goal, and I think we'll go on and win reasonably comfortably without having to stress too much. Nathan says, I've not had a chance to catch up. What were your thoughts on the City game? Well, I mean, obviously it was a great result, wasn't it? You know, when you look at how we've done at City over the last few years, getting hammered year after year, I thought we were a little bit passive in the way that we set up. We went for the draw, which isn't a bad result. But having said that, you know, if we're really, really serious about putting a marker down, we should have tried to go and win that game. Yes, the risk would have been we could easily have lost by taking too many risks. And you have to do it sensibly, don't you? So I'm not saying we should have gone all out, but I do feel as though, you know, we needed to go there and maybe cause them a few more problems than we did going from an attacking perspective. That's what I would have liked to have seen us really go there and feel confident that we could have got a result. In the end, we got the draw. I'd have took a draw before. I'm happy with a draw. I was just a little bit frustrated, really, with the way that we went about the game. You know, we just wanted to stop them from scoring, which worked because no one normally stops them from scoring, do they? So I guess we have to be pleased about that, don't we? So yeah, it was a good result. Frustrating, I say, in some ways, but at the end of the day, it's great that we didn't. If we'd lost that game, it's all over, really, isn't it? I still think it's a lot to do, but let's see. We're 2 points behind Liverpool. We have to win tonight. Of course, Liverpool are playing in Man City as well, as we know. So it's going to be an interesting into the season, isn't it? But I always said that what I wanted this season was for Arsenal to stay in it for as long as we could. Last year, we collapsed at the end and we gave it away. I just want to keep winning games, and if it goes down to the last week of the season and we're still in with a chance, for me, that'll be a step forward from last season. I think you can see the team looks more mature now, but what's going to be interesting is to see how some of these players tonight perform when they've not played many minutes. Thomas Partey, Smith Rowe in particular in midfield, Reece Nelson as well. How are they going to do in a game which it's an important game? It might only be Luton, but Luton have been difficult opposition. We saw how many problems they caused us at Kenilworth Road, but away from home, we're at home. Luton are away from home. I would imagine that we'll win. Nathan says, agree. Yeah, that's just what I felt about it. I'm happy with the result, of course. I took a draw all day long beforehand, so we can't really grumble, can we? The Journeyman's with us says, watching from Turkey. Oh, yeah, fantastic. I bet you got better weather than we have here, which has been not very nice today, raining all day. 1 month and counting, indeed. 1 month and counting as a member for the Journeyman. Good to have you with us, of course. As always, we've got Luca with us as well. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm very good, my friend. Good. Hope you're well. But Luca says, thoughts on team. I think it's good. Rest Saka, especially buying next week. Exactly, yeah. I've been saying all the time, you don't win anything with 11 players. You've got to rotate your squad. He hasn't done it enough, Mikel Arteta. He's done it tonight, so I'm happy. But now we've got to go out. These players have got to go out and get the job done. There are any 11 players that represent Arsenal in 2024 should be good enough to beat Luton at home. And that's the end of it, really, isn't it? Lucas says, if Arteta doesn't win nothing this season, he has to be sacked. Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, I think a lot of it depends on the circumstances, isn't it, really? Because what you've got to remember is that I wanted to see us make a step forward this season, and that's what looks like. That's what we've done so far. Yes, the business end of the season still to come, and should we fall away again like we did last year, if we start losing a few silly games and throw it away and end up finishing third, but a distant third, and they pull away from us, then I would tend to maybe agree with you. But I think if we do take it down to the last week of the season, even if we do end up finishing third, I think it'll be harsh to sack him at this point. I really do. But let's see. We're still in the Champions League as well, of course, and who knows how far we might go in there. Funnily enough, I thought maybe a month or two ago, I thought our best chance of winning anything was going to be the Premier League if we were going to win a trophy. But now I'm suddenly starting to think that you look at the Champions League, over 2 legs, we're going to be difficult to beat. And I maybe fancy it. We might have more chance of winning the Champions League, which sounds weird, and I can't even get my head around it. But just the way that it seems to have been the way that it's going, the way that we play in, the way we set up, I think the Champions League, we might be suited to that. Let's get past Bayern first, though, and let's see. Lucas says there, Saka should have rest. I'm happy we get good. Yeah, no, he needs to rest. Absolutely, of course he does, and it's good that he's having he's a little bit injured anyway, isn't he? So it's probably a good idea to rest him. Reece Nelson, we know he's a good player. Nathan says Bayern are hit and miss. Yeah, they are. If they hit though, they're going to be decent, aren't they? So it's going to be tough. 2 legs. Phil says, I hope he's made the right choices tonight. Yeah. He needed to rotate the squad, isn't he? Let's hope he's made the right changes. Yeah, I agree. He's kept the defence pretty solid, though, hasn't he? And I think that's important, isn't it? You build from the back, as we saw on Sunday. Though that's what Arsenal were doing. Terry says, "Good evening, Richard. All in the chat. Big up to the Gooner girls, and hope you had a fantastic weekend away." Richard Andreas, if you're in the chat, yeah, I mean it was a brilliant weekend. We'll obviously talk about that a bit more on Friday when we do the women's show. We're going to look back on all the drama and emotion and excitement from Sunday on Friday's show, of course. So join us for that. Greg says, to win the league, we can't drop another point, and that won't happen. I don't know about not dropping another point. I think all 3 teams will drop points, probably. Draws here and there, maybe a defeat here and there, but all we can do is don't worry about the other teams. Just try and focus on ourselves. Try and win as many games as we can between now and the end of the season. And if we do that, there's nothing more we can do. If we win all the games we should be expected to win, We've got some tough away games still to come, as we know, and let's see. But this tonight here, Luton all in black. They're going to be attacking the goal to our left in the first half, which is the North Bank. They'll be taking kickoff here at the Emirates. The referee, by the way, is Craig Pulse. Now, we are off and underway at the Emirates. It's a big game. This was a sort of game last year. If you remember the Bournemouth game, the Southampton game against struggling teams, when we really made a bit of a meal of it, didn't we? Let's hope tonight we put those lessons to good use, and we come out tonight and get the job done. We shall see. Greg says, oh yeah, you said that. Sorry, yeah, you did. Phil says, don't trust him. I don't trust him. Absolutely not. But we can't play the same 11 in every game with the title running and the Champions League. We have to give these players a game. We have to give them games, and tonight's a good opportunity because Luton are the weakest team that we've got left to play. Anyway, an early chances there for Leandro Trossard. Actually, it was good defending, and goalkeeper clears it away. Kabinski there for Luton. It was a great game, wasn't it, down at Kenilworth Road back in December at 4-3 win. Of course, we did it the hard way. Anyway, Thomas Partey just won the ball in midfield, finds Kai Havertz, can also get an early goal. It wasn't quite the right ball there from Havertz, looking for Trossard. It was just overplayed. It's gone out for a goal kick to Luton. We've played just over a minute at the Emirates. Obviously, it's still 0-0. Nothing's really happened yet. But let's see what this game is going to bring for Arsenal. There's a few players here that we need to step up tonight, don't we? We need him to step up. Smith Rowe, in particular, big opportunity for him. He's hardly played. It seems a little bit unfair in a way, doesn't it, to expect him to come into the team tonight and hit the ground running when he's hardly played. But that's what being a squad player is about, isn't it? You've got to, when you're needed, you've got to step up and do the job. And that's what we need from Smith Rowe tonight, from Reece Nelson tonight as well. And if we get that from them, we'll be happy, won't we? Phil said should get the win still. Absolutely, yeah. As I said, any 11 players this season that represent Arsenal against Luton at home, we should win, shouldn't we? And if they can't manage to win this game, then they shouldn't still be at the club, do they? Let's be honest. But there's a different sort of pressure now. We're in April, aren't we? And April's a time where every single game matters, no matter who you're playing, whether you're playing a top team as we were on Sunday or one of the bottom teams as we are tonight. All the games are difficult because of the pressure, the extra pressure that there is at this point in the season. And it can't be taken lightly. We've got to be switched on and focused and do our job, get the win tonight and just win as many as I said, win as many as we can. And hope it's going to be enough. I'm not convinced it will be. I kind of agree with Greg. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think we will win the league. I'd love it if we did. I'm not feeling as though we will. I just feel as though Liverpool, in particular, they've got the advantage on us, and they're probably not going to lose too many games. City, we know they're going to go on and win and win and win. And we've got some difficult games to come as well. You know, if you look at on paper, we've probably got the most difficult running, haven't we? Doesn't mean we can't win them all, but I don't expect us to. And I think it's going to be probably Liverpool that win the league now. Would be if I had to pick a winner now out of looking at the state of the league and the games left, I would probably say Liverpool are favourites, aren't they? But we know City are just going to keep winning and winning, aren't they? So who knows? One mistake from Liverpool and it will probably let City in, and it could let us in as well. But some of these games away, Tottenham away, they're not going to give us anything, are they? Man United away, they're not going to give us anything either. Difficult away games that we need to step up. Can we do it? We'll have to see. But let's get tonight out of the way first. We can't, we've got Bayern as well. We don't want to get too carried away. We've got to win this game tonight. And that's basically how it is. Reece Nelson, they're trying to get the ball forward. But again, Luton have looked fairly solid and comfortable defensively so far in the first 4 minutes here at the Emirates without really threatening much going forward. But that's kind of what we expected. We thought that Luton would be very, very compact, didn't we? We expected them to. Terry says, sorry I missed the Villa watch-along, but had some sad, bad news. My mum, I'm really sorry about that, mate. Another Arsenal fan gone. I'll say condolences, mate. Really, really bad news that is, isn't it? I'm glad that you're with us tonight. But yeah, you don't have to apologise for missing a game for that. Yeah, really, that's really sad. That I know how you feel. My mum passed a long time ago now, 25 years this year, actually. Anyway, it's a throw to Arsenal over on that far side. Let's hope Arsenal can win the league for your mum then, eh? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Or the Champions League, well, imagine. That would be great, wouldn't it? Anyway, Arsenal in possession now, looking to try and win this game tonight, which is going to be difficult. I think it's going to be tricky. It's, you know, if we can get a reasonably early goal, I think it will settle us down. Nathan says, "Full team." So yeah, indeed, yeah, for all of us, really, you know, exactly. And yeah, in Arsenal their possession, Ben White plays up this near side to Reece Nelson, brings it in field and switches it to Gabriel just inside the centre circle. Now it's with Zinchenko playing as a central midfielder, which gives us all a few anxious moments when we lose the ball. Anyway, we haven't lost the ball yet. Ben White on this near side. You have to say, actually, you know, as much as Luton have struggled, and you know, we know, you know, where they've come from, their rise up the leagues and stuff like that. You have to give them credit actually for what they've done this season. They've set about their job really, really well, haven't they? They've tried to play their football. They've played to their strengths. And they've got some really, really good results. They've surprised me. I thought at the start of the season, I was like, well, Luton will definitely go down. You know, I was expecting them to maybe have one of the worst seasons ever in Premier League history. But fair play to them. They've been really, really good. You know, they've been good to watch as well, haven't they? They've had some really exciting games. I'll say our game at Kenilworth Road, for example. But they've had a lot of exciting games. They've been a credit to the Premier League. You know, a lot of the teams that come up aren't ready. And you know, they Sheffield United, for example, you know, almost embarrassingly bad. And I expected Luton to be like that, and they haven't. So you have to say, you know, well done, Rob Edwards, the manager, and all the coaching staff and the players. They've been brilliant for Luton this season. And they're not my favourite team. I haven't forgiven them for the 1988 League Cup final. But you know, you know, and obviously their ground is not up to Premier League standards, stuff like that. But you know, you have to give them credit, and well done, Luton, for what they've given this season, because they've been absolutely brilliant. So yeah, but tonight we should win, shouldn't we? Let's be honest. We've got Nick Nack in the chat. How you doing, Nick Nack? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you are doing well. Nathan says, I think he manages to keep Luton up. He should be manager. Saying, yeah, no, I agree. He's been brilliant, actually. You've got to look at the players that they've got, how much their squad cost. Anyway, they've just made a mistake at the back. That's with a shot, hits one of the lots of black-coloured shirts in the penalty area for Luton. That's a cross comes in from Ben White, but it's just tipped over the bar, actually, by the goalkeeper there. Kabinski, he's saying it was, he's now having a discussion with his captain, Carlton Morris. They're a bit of an angry exchange between those two. They're not quite sure what that was all about. Nathan says their recruitment has been really good. Yeah, it's had to be, hasn't it? They don't have the money to spend, do they? So quite honestly, their recruitment's got to be good. Terry says, to be fair, Luton have been entertaining this season. Exactly, yeah, I agree. They have. They've been great for the Premier League. I never thought they would be. I never thought I'd be saying that. I thought I'll be pleased when they've gone, but actually, I hope they stay up because they've been great. Anyway, Arsenal with a chance now. It's a shot from Zinchenko from outside the box. It hits another Luton defender. Andros Townsend's there, of course, former Tottenham player, getting some grief off the crowd, of course, as you would expect. But he does well there. Andros Townsend clears the ball away. It's a throw though to Arsenal on this near side. The referee's actually stopped the game. Not quite sure why. Ben White's going to have to take this throw again. I'm not sure what happened there. Why has the referee stopped the game? Doesn't seem to be any particular reason for it. Anyway, was it because there was two balls on the pitch maybe? Anyway, Ben White's going to take this throw now on this near side for Arsenal. Goes back to William Saliba. Arsenal 0, Luton 0, 8.5 minutes played at the Emirates. That's a long ball played forward from Gabriel up this near side, but it's gone out. Very disjointed from Arsenal so far. Not really a surprise, is it? When you make so many changes to the team, we've not made hardly any changes in the last few weeks. And suddenly there's, 4 or 5 changes tonight. So, of course, it was always going to take time maybe for this team to settle in together. And we are looking very disjointed so far, but it's very early days. Luton trying to come forward down his near side, but that's good defending by Gabriel if actually wins a free kick. It was a foul there by Jordan Clark for Luton, who need some points themselves. It's not like, they're going to... I saw some things saying, Luton with a few injuries that they've got, they'll be more focused on the game against Bournemouth at the weekend. They can't afford to, can they? Every single point for Luton is going to be important, isn't it? As it is for us. But for totally different reasons, of course. But, Luton, this is a big game for Luton as well, isn't it? They can't afford to lose too many more games because the teams around them are picking up points and they need to keep doing it themselves, don't they? So they certainly won't be coming here tonight and looking at this as a free hit and just, look to keep a score down. No, they want to try and get a point or something here, don't they, tonight? And they're going to work hard to do it. And they have so far, the first 10 minutes. So Arsenal looking a little bit disjointed so far, but it is early days. Reece Nelson on this near side. He's going to try and take it on himself as he plays it into the penalty area towards Martin Ødegaard. It's a lovely little 1-2 with Ben White. Almost it was Ben White's little flick. That wasn't quite good enough there, and it was well cleared away there by, I think it was Mengi. It's going to be a free kick there. It was Reece Nelson that fouled him. A little flick there from Ben White. Didn't quite have the direction on it there to open up that Luton defence. I think he has a few more sessions on the sunbed, hasn't he, Ben White, as he loves to do. Nick Nack says Luton have only picked up one fewer point away from home than Newcastle. Have they really? Wow. Incredible, really, isn't it? And fair play to them. I say they've given it a good go this season. They've scored a lot more goals than I expected them to. And they've looked really good. Anyway, there's just a slight injury there to Kabore, I think it is. He's going to be a free kick, which the goalkeeper Kabinski is going to take. We've played 11 minutes. Not too much has happened in the game, to be honest. Arsenal looking a little bit sixes and sevens with each other. Luton are just working hard to deny our space. It's funny, isn't it? Because a lot of Arsenal fans were saying how happy they were with the defensive way we set up against Man City, and yet they're the same fans that complain every time a team comes to the Emirates and sets up to defend for 90 minutes. You can't have it always, can we? We did it. Other teams do it. We've got to accept that's what other teams are going to have to do if they want to get a result against us. And you can't expect anything else from Luton. They're going to do that. They're going to be tight and compact, and they're going to try, if they can, to get some set pieces to try and maybe nick a goal. And that's what you've got to expect, haven't you? I wouldn't expect Luton to play any other way. Most teams that come to the Emirates are going to have to play like that. Because if they don't, it's the same, isn't it? If we'd gone to the Etihad and opened up, we'd have probably lost that game 3 or 4-0 again. So you have to do what you have to do, don't you, to get your result that you need. And that's what Luton will do tonight. I'm not going to criticise them for it. Reece Nelson, on this near side, done well. Finds Martin Ødegaard, plays it into Kai Havertz, gets it back. Now it's with Thomas Partey, a rare start for him, of course, this season. Arsenal now coming forward again. Martin Ødegaard tries a shot from outside the box. It hits a Luton defender, Mengi, I think it was again, who's played quite well so far. And anyway, the ball played out to that far side, headed away though again by Luton. They're quite a big team, aren't they? They're quite a big, strong, physical-looking team, aren't they? So it's going to be quite tough for us to break them down, really, isn't it? You know what they're like. They're very, very unforgiving. But they've got 1 or 2 good players. Andros Townsend, Ross Barkley, of course, have played at the top level. Ross Barkley's been a revelation this season, hasn't he, for Luton? Brilliant. He's been brilliant for him. He was brilliant against us at Kenilworth Road, wasn't he? And, they can play some football, Luton. They are a big physical team, but they can actually play some football as well. They haven't managed to play any football tonight so far, and we haven't really managed to play too much either. It's been quite a scrappy game, if we're totally honest, after 13 minutes. And I think we're going to have to get used to the fact that a lot of the games now, between now and the end of the season, are going to be a bit like this. You can't expect lots of free-flowing football when there's so much pressure. We had all those great wins, didn't we? We also now with an opportunity here. Kai Havertz, Smith Rowe was fouled. The referee allowed play to go on. Kai Havertz inside the area finds Trossard. Now it's into Smith Rowe. It wouldn't quite fall for Emil Smith Rowe, and Luton managed to clear the ball away. He was fouled, actually, Smith Rowe in the build-up. So good refereeing, though, because we had possession with Kai Havertz. And in the end, it was a ball into the box, and it wouldn't quite come for Smith Rowe with it. He's on the ball again now over on that far side. Plays it out to Leandro Trossard. He tries to play a 1-2 with Kai Havertz. The ball instead comes back out to Zinchenko. Plays it square to William Saliba, about 40 yards out, very central. Finds Martin Ødegaard. Switches the play across to Gabriel. Thought about crossing to the box. Instead plays out to the far side to Leandro Trossard. Plays across in. Smith Rowe again's inside the box. He does well, Smith Rowe, this time, but good defending again from Luton, actually, and they've won a goal kick. He picked up a nice little pocket of space there, didn't he, Smith Rowe, inside the penalty area. Good first touch, but he wasn't quite able to get away from the Luton defence. Nick Nack says Luton have conceded more away goals than any other team what makes them dangerous is they can score goals. Exactly, yeah, they do score goals. Yeah, they've scored a lot more goals than I assumed. Nick Nack says 21 away goals for Luton, 19 away goals for Man United. Well, there you go, you see. Mark C says overcooking it a little bit at the moment. Yeah, I think we look like a midfield and front three that haven't really played together too much, don't we, at this moment in time? And it's not to be unexpected, really, is it? You know, with the changes that we've made, and I'm sure we'll settle down. I'm not overly concerned at this moment in time. We've got far too much quality in this team to be worried that we won't eventually break them down. And we may do now. Kai Havertz is looking to get in. He's done well, Kai Havertz. Holds off one challenge. He's got Reece Nelson. Instead, it comes to Martin Odegaard. Again, it's good defending from Luton, actually. We're just talking about how many goals they've conceded, but they've defended well so far tonight, the first 15 minutes. It's always a big moment in a game, isn't it? The first 15 minutes. You need to be settled and obviously from a Luton perspective, not concede a goal. And that's what they've done. They'll be delighted so far with how they've played. And Arsenal haven't really got going yet in these early stages of this game. But it is still very, very early, as we said. So we don't need to worry too much yet, do we? And I'm sure we will get there in the end. And we've got some quality on the bench as well, of course, with players that have been rested tonight. The two Gabriels, of course. Declan Rice is on the bench as well. Anyway, Luton now on a counter-attack. This is where the danger is. It's a good ball up this near side. And suddenly for a minute, they're looking at a player. Oh, it wasn't a great ball. Jordan Clark's got it now. Plays it back infield to Ross Barkley. And in the end, Arsenal get everyone back. And in fact, I think the offside flag's up, is it? No, it's not. No, play's going on. Ross Barkley, again, is in possession. He could be the key for Luton tonight if he can unlock this Arsenal defence. He's on a run there. That's good play, actually. It's Jordan Clark on this near side. Can he pull the ball back to the edge of the box? Good defending, actually, there from Zinchenko. Stepped in. Unusually for him, done some good defending. And then that's a good ball forward as well. But Luton are going to clear it up. There you go. You see, Luton are going to pose a threat at times in this game. Absolutely. Ross Barkley really, really well there. It was a nice ball to Jordan Clark on this near side. Maybe wasn't the best of balls to the edge of the box, but in the end, Zinchenko steps in. Good defending from him. Got the ball away. And now Luton are back in possession in front of their own penalty area. Played up this near side. Kabore is putting a bit of pressure, so just does a simple thing and plays it back to his goalkeeper. It was all in green. Nathan says he's been a great signing for them, Barkley. You know, he has. He's been brilliant, yeah. He's been one of their key players, hasn't he, this season? The way that they want to play. And I think Andros Townsend as well, you know, experience. You can't beat that experience that they've got, can you, at the top level, playing in the top of the Premier League in Europe and stuff like that, you know. And them two have been really important for Luton and probably helped a lot of their players that haven't played at the top level before. You know, there's a few in their squad who have come all the way through from non-league, haven't they? All the way through to the Premier League. You know, it's incredible, really, when you look at, you know, in this day and age where money is king, for a team like Luton to make that journey that they've been on has been incredible. Anyway, Martin Odegaard now on the edge of the box finds Reece Nelson. That wasn't a great ball, actually. It was rather telegraphed, and Luton are able to clear it away. And when they get the ball, they are looking to play some football as well, aren't they? They're not just booting it anywhere. They're actually looking to play some football, Luton. I've been really impressed with how they've set up in this game. That's a long ball forward there. And suddenly Luton have got a player over here on this near side. It is Doherty, Alfie Doherty. We know what a good delivery he's got. It's deflected behind, but it's going to be a goal kick because it hit his own teammate, Jordan Clark, at that cross. Alfie Doherty caused us a few problems, didn't he, at Kenilworth Road earlier in the season. And he tried to whip that ball in there, but it hit his own teammate and went out. Was it an offside? It wasn't an offside because even Jordan Clark initially wasn't offside. And when the ball came through to Doherty, he wasn't either. But his cross actually hit his own teammate and went behind for a goal kick, which was not what Luton wanted, really, was it? The ball's now back with their goalkeeper, and he chips it over to that far side. Good control there by, I think it was Morris, but Arsenal picked the ball up with Leandro Trossard having a run over on that far side. Can he get a cross in? No, he can't because he's held up again. See, Luton getting their players back. Oh, it's a lovely turn from Trossard. He does get the cross in now. Kai Havertz is coming in. Good defensive header. Only falls to Smith Rowe. And in the end, the shot was deflected. And the goalkeeper, Kabitsky's made a comfortable save there. And good work that was from Trossard over on that far side. Looked like he was, the door had been shut on him, but a lovely turn, a Cruyff turn away. And a decent cross as well, headed out. And then Smith Rowe's effort, well, a couple of deflections actually. And it was cleared away. Nick Nack says, defending in numbers, Smith Rowe maybe should have done better with that. Yeah, it fell nicely to him, didn't it? He didn't get hold of the shot at all. But no, Luton are defending in numbers, but of course they are. What else would we have expected them to do? Let's be honest, they was never going to come and just, open up. But to be fair to them, when they've had the ball, they've looked to play football, and they have looked to get bodies forward, and they have looked to to try to cause us a few problems. They haven't managed to so far. Just that one real attack, which in the end came to nothing. Good play from Ross Barkley, but it's a typical away performance from a struggling team playing against one of the top teams, isn't it? Anyway, Havertz there trying to get in, but the ball kind of hit him, and it's run all the way through to the goalkeeper, Kabinski. Nick Nack says, but you can expect him to be a bit rusty. Yeah, I mean, there's a few players that will be a bit rusty because they've not played too many minutes, have they? And Mark says ESR looking like he's trying to play his way into England's Euro 24 squad. What, by not playing very well? Nick Nack says, no chance, so sadly. No, I mean, he's not going to, is he? Because he's not going to play enough games between now and the end of the season, is he? You look at the games that we've got left, the size of the games, the importance of them, the opposition that we've got. We know if everybody's fit, we pretty much know what the start 11 is going to be. This was the one game where you looked at and thought, you know what, this is the game to make the changes. And obviously, if we don't win, it would have been a mistake, wouldn't it? But we've got the players on the bench we can bring on later on if we need to. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about having a squad. And it's about managing that squad, and that's what you've got to do if you're going to be successful. And I say I'm not going to criticise Mikel Arteta for the team tonight. I think it's in the circumstances he's done the right thing. You could have rested one or two more. You could have played Fabio Vieira instead of Odegaard, for example. But I suppose you don't want to take them all out there, Rice and Odegaard and Jorginho. Anyway, Trossard over on that far side. Can he get across? And he does. Is he going to come to Havertz's head? Oh, he couldn't quite get on the end of it. Again, it's good defending there by Kabore, I think it was, who's actually playing pretty well, isn't he? The Luton defender. Luton, now that's a good play actually from Carlton Morris. A lovely take there, brought the ball down and touched it off to Ross Barkley. But that's a poor ball from Ross Barkley. Trossard's picked up again. He's looked good over on that far side. Trossard inside the penalty, tries a shot. Again, it's great defending from Luton. They're putting their bodies on the line here. That was Kabore again, actually. He's blocking everything. He's just an absolute brick wall at the minute, isn't he? For Luton. And Luton have won a free kick over on that far side. It was Carlton Morris there was fouled by Gabriel. That's a heavyweight contest if ever there was one, isn't there? Gabriel and Carlton Morris, two very physical players. They'll enjoy that battle, I'm sure. And that was just a long ball over the top. And yeah, Gabriel he pushed him over. That's a foul, isn't it? Nick Nack says, best thing for ESR is a move away from Arsenal. Yeah, I think you're probably right. If he wants to play regular, he's going to have to move away because there's no way Mikel Arteta trusts him enough, unfortunately. Terry says, if 29 can get in the German team, I'm defo back in ESR. Well, yeah, but you've got to look at the England squad and the manager who he picks. And he tends to stick with what he knows. And, unless there was someone having an outstanding season unexpectedly. Smith Rowe just won the ball well there, actually. Now Kai Havertz inside the penalty. It goes back to Martin Odegaard. Tries a shot. It is 1-0. And that's how easy it is when you're playing against a team like Luton. You win the ball. It was ESR that won the ball, actually. And he found Kai Havertz. And he squared it to Martin Odegaard, who fired in. And finally, Arsenal do get the breakthrough. And of course, that means 1-0 to the Arsenal. Martin Odegaard with the goal, and Luton gave the ball away when it was actually they were caught in possession. And I think it was Kabore actually. We just said how great he'd been. He got caught in possession there. Smith Rowe did well. Found Odegaard, found Kai Havertz. Instead of shooting, he squared it back, and a first-time shot. Good finish from Martin Odegaard. Typical Martin Odegaard goal in many ways. And Kai Havertz with another assist. And a good finish from, he was about 15 yards out, wasn't he? Kind of across the ball with his left foot. And it was away from the keeper. Nick Nack says, damn, Mr. Goal. It's a good goal, actually. Mark C says, bingo, indeed. Brexit shouldn't be hard to get in the England team, but all 4 of them are average players. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. Nathan says Havertz assist indeed. Now, Luton coming straight back at us, actually. I think that's a bit of a miss hit. No, I don't think it's a miss hit. He kind of hit it. He kind of hit through the ball, didn't he, with the outside of his foot and put it in the corner. I think it was a good finish. I don't think it was a miss hit. I think so it bent away from the keeper. That's what it looked like, a decent shot. I don't think it was a miss kick, but anyway, it went in. That's the main thing, isn't it? Anyway, Luton now coming forward again over on that far side. That's a decent cross into the 6-yard box. Good defensive header from Ben White. And Luton have responded well, actually, to going behind, and they've put us under a little bit of pressure here. That was a good cross into the box. In Panzu, it was in Panzu actually. I think who got caught in possession, not Kabora. Anyway, Luton are in possession at the moment, and they are trying to come forward, having just conceded a goal. And the one thing about Luton is that they'll keep playing, won't they? They'll keep doing their stuff. They're not gonna change just because they've conceded a goal. They used to be 1-0 down. Of course, they've been 1-0 down a lot this season. But Arsenal now, I think we're just taking our foot off the gas just a little bit because we've got the goal. And Luton just having a little bit more possession in our half. They're trying to come forward themselves now, looking for this equal. Oh, that's a good ball. Poor defensive play from Arsenal. Ball into Arsenal's box. Good defending that was there. Was that Smith Rowe again? And he cleared the ball away. But Luton there looked a bit dangerous again. Almost got him behind us. They're playing some nice stuff at this moment in time, Luton are. Over on that far side, a cross comes in. It's a dangerous ball, and David Raya has got to keep that out, and he does. It was more of a cross than a shot, but nobody got a touch on it. It was Andros Townsend with the ball in, and David Raya had to get there, and he did. Mark C says, first time hit always catches the keeper. Yeah, he kind of hit it away, didn't he? So it bent away. Nick Nack said he was going for the opposite corner. You think, well, maybe he was, I don't know. Nick Nack said Scholes used to admit he didn't even aim for the corners. Chances are you smash it down the middle and it'll bend one way or the other. Yeah, it's difficult to put it in a corner, isn't it? Not everyone's going to be able to do that every time, are they? So, but if it goes in, for me, it's a good finish regardless. It doesn't matter if he meant it or not. It went in the goal, and obviously he meant to score. Eh? You're shooting at goal, you mean to score, don't you? So if it goes in, that's what you mean to happen, don't you? Mark C says good passing between ESR and Havertz in the ball. Yeah, good play from ESR, wasn't it? Winning the ball. And also won the ball again over on that far side. That wasn't such a good ball though from ESR. And Luton are able to clear it away. We've played 27 minutes. Arsenal 1, Luton 0. And you do feel, don't you, from this platform now, getting that early goal, that Arsenal should be able to go on and get the 3 points. I did say it would be 3-0, and I'm kind of thinking I might be right now. But Luton almost got an opportunity there to get a goal back. But great defensive play there. I think, was it Trossard, actually, rather than ESR. But anyway, it was good defending from Arsenal. And there's a long ball forward there over on that far side. And Luton actually, since the goal, have been the better team. And they've put us under a little bit of pressure without really threatening a goal particularly, but they've certainly responded well to go behind Luton, haven't they? The ball's now back with David Raya. Finds Thomas Partey. Plays it square. And Arsenal just knocking the ball around at the minute, fairly confidently. William Saliba lays it off to goal scorer Martin Odegaard, the Arsenal captain. Another important goal from him. And now Smith Rowe can bring the ball forward over on that far side. Good play from him. Finds Trossard over on that far, Zinchenko over on that far side. Gives it back to Martin Odegaard. Shuffles the ball square to Thomas Partey. Gets it back. The Norwegian. And Arsenal just looking to regain a little bit of control again. Following, of course, the little lull after the goal. Herman, what was I doing, Herman? Good to see you from Toronto, of course. Hope you are doing well and enjoying Arsenal winning this game so far. And you'd imagine that we should really go on and win the game, shouldn't we? Let's be honest. But who knows? Long way still to go, of course. And Luton will certainly not just give up, will they? They're coming forward again over on that far side, coming up to the half-hour mark. And they're coming forward again. Andros Townsend again with a cross. It's a decent ball. Header comes in and it's gone wide. And it was Jordan Clark, who's looking quite dangerous in these early stages here. And Nick Nack says, Luton aren't looking out of this yet. No, they're certainly not. Nathan says, need to step it up again. Yeah, exactly. We've just, since the goal, we've just really dropped our intensity, haven't we, by quite a lot. And Luton have taken advantage of that. And that was a decent cross again from that far side from Townsend. And the header came in from Clark. He couldn't quite get enough on it. And it was cleared away. Herman says, we have British weather here now. Do you? What? So it's like not very nice. Is that what you mean? Because it's been raining all day today, actually. It's complete and utter like washout today. I still went for me run though. I'm a hardy soul. I'll go for a run in the rain. Got splashed by a puddle though, which wasn't really nice. Russ says, good evening, Richard, in the chat. Indeed, my friend, how are you? Hope you're well. Arsenal on the way, hopefully, to a nice 3 points. Nick Nack says, been raining non-stop for the last 3 months. Yeah, no, you're right. It has been. Yeah, that's true. Pretty much. It has pretty much been. But anyway, Arsenal coming forward again over on that far side. Trossard tries to dink the ball into the penalty area. It's cleared away by Luton again. And they've got a rather strange camera angle, which isn't really ideal, is it, at the moment, from the TNT cameraman. Not great at all. Anyway, Arsenal are in possession, though, with Martin Odegaard. Plays it for. That's not a great ball, is it, for Martin Odegaard? Again, it's a couple of times he's given the ball away. Nathan says, I used to like running in the rain. I always found it quite refreshing. Yeah, I mean, it was not raining too heavily when I went out. It was kind of a light drizzle, really, which, yeah, wasn't too bad. It was quite cool. Yeah, it was all right. I've been out for a lot worse. Russ says, it's like watching someone playing FIFA. Yeah, no, it is. You're right. That's exactly what it's like. The game's not really coming to life at all, is it? But we've got the lead, and at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, isn't it? When it comes to this point in the season, I'll take a lot of boring games if we end up winning and getting a result. That's all that matters, really, isn't it? But obviously, in some games, we're going to have to play a lot better to get the result, aren't we? Against some of the stronger teams that we've got left to face. And Liverpool, of course, are at home to Sheffield United tomorrow. They are going to win that game. I'm fairly certain of that. I think Man City are playing tonight, aren't they? Nick Nack says every game is a potential banana. Yeah, of course it is. Absolutely. At this point in the season, it is. Yeah. You know, Luton coming forward now, but that's good defending again by Zinchenko. Cut that ball out. He's actually had a half-decent game so far, but no doubt he'll make a silly mistake sooner or later. And Luton trying to come forward again. They're coming forward again over on that far side. Ben White, Gabriel's across, and it is going to be a goal kick. A little bit sloppy there from Arsenal. Nick Nack says, remember the 3-3 last season with Southampton? Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were lucky not to lose that game, wasn't we? We were 3-1 down. And we came back. But yeah, I do think this Arsenal team this season is a little bit more mature, though. And I don't think that we're going to see results like that. I'm not saying we're going to win every game, and I think we're going to maybe drop points, but I think we're not going to see those type of performances that we did last season at this point when things started to slip away from us. Nathan says they're playing Villa. Yeah, that's right, they are. Yeah. Nick Nack says, yeah, agree. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you can kind of see it, can't you? And I say, you know, we've got a rotated team tonight as well. Anyway, Arsenal are coming forward over on that far side. You do feel as our second goal before half-time finishes this game off. While it's 1-0, Luton are still in it, and they've posed a bit of a threat, haven't they? Thomas Partey thought about a shot, threaded it through instead. Martin Odegaard, Smith Rowe was in. Good save. Reece Nelson on the follow-up. And Martin Odegaard's a good, decent save, actually. Smith Rowe almost got his first goal for over 2 years, is it, since his last goal? Almost broke that run there. It was a lovely move from Arsenal. Nice, intricate play on the edge of the box. And Smith Rowe's shot is a decent save, actually. Yes, maybe it was a little bit close to the goalkeeper, gave him the chance to make the save, but it was a decent save. And Luton player's gone down injured, actually, in the build-up to that Smith Rowe shot. It's a decent shot. It's a decent save. So yeah, I think maybe a little bit harsh on Smith Rowe. It was a decent finish. He did well, and some great defending actually from Luton. They really are throwing their bodies on the line. Herman says, I have to congratulate Stina Blackstenius for a powerful winning. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it was brilliant. We're going to talk about it on Friday's show, of course. The brilliant Continental Cup final. What a day that was. Fantastic, that game. And, of course, a brilliant late winner as well. Even better, isn't it? Nick Nack says, so close to 2-0. Indeed, it was really close to 2-0 there. Good save and a good effort. And Luton have got a couple of players injured now, actually. Nathan says, Kabore is on the warpath tonight. He is, isn't he? He certainly is. He's throwing everything at it, isn't he? He's defended really well. Anyway, there is a couple of injuries now, so we're having a bit of a break in play at the moment. And it is 10 minutes to go until the break. Arsenal 1, Luton 0. And we should be heading to another 3 points. So important. It will, of course, send us top of the table tonight. Of course, Liverpool playing tomorrow. Of course, Man City playing tonight as well. So any slip up from us would let City in, wouldn't it? But yeah, let's see how we go. It is 1-0 at the moment, of course. Nathan says, jumping in front of everything. Yeah, he's just thrown himself, isn't he? He's just been brilliant. I remember when we played Nottingham Forest fairly recently. They had a guy at the back, I can't remember his name now, and he was doing the same, wasn't he? Just literally throwing his body in the way of everything. He had a great game. But we managed to win that game, and we are winning this game, and I'm sure we'll go on and win this game as well. In fact, it's Menji who's got injured, and Hashioka as well, who's had to go off because he received some treatment. So Luton are currently down to 9 players briefly, but I'm sure the referee will let them come straight back on again. The goalkeeper there is saying to the referee, we've got 9 players. You can't let us have 2 players off the pitch. Anyway, the goalkeeper is going to hold on to the ball now as long as he can. Not quite sure why the referee isn't allowing these 2 Luton players to return. I'm sure as soon as the goalkeeper kicks the ball, he will. And has he let them back on? I'm not sure if he has. It'll be, imagine if Arsenal scored when Luton were down to 9 players because the referee won't let the injured players back on the pitch again. He still hasn't. He still hasn't allowed them to come back on. They're still down to 9 players at the moment, Luton. I mean, it seems crazy that he's not let them back on. And the play is still going on, and Luton are still down to 9 players. And it's, they're coming forward over on that far side. I mean, come on, ref, he's got to let him back on. Oh, has he? I know he's let him back on now. He has let him back on now. Seem to be playing with 9 men for ages here, Luton. Very strange. Anyway, they managed to keep possession for most of that anyway, so they were fine. Anyway, Luton are trying to come forward again. We've played 37.5 minutes. Arsenal 1, Luton 0. It's the first time we've played Luton at home since 1991. And that game finished in a 2-1 Arsenal victory at Highbury. Paul Merson scored in that. I think Alan Smith got the other one, from what I remember. I was at that game a long time ago, of course. And that was Luton's last visit to Arsenal. Of course, the only other time we've played them since was in December at Kenilworth Road. And this is their first ever visit to the Emirates Stadium. And so far, they've certainly done themselves credit, even though they are losing the game on their first visit here. And in fact, Arsenal have won their last, I think it's 10 home games in a row in the league against Luton, which goes back to the 1970s, I think, when the last time Luton got a victory here. Well, not here, away at Arsenal, which again was at Highbury. They only ever won twice at Highbury ever in their entire history. Anyway, Luton have defended that again pretty well. Nathan says, getting a bit scrappy. Yeah, it is. It has got a bit scrappy, you're right. And Luton have got a little bit of space on this near side, actually, with Doherty. He's been a little bit more defensive in this first half, hasn't he, for Luton? He can get forward well and put a good delivery in, can't he? Certainly from set pieces, I'm sure he'll take a few. I'm not sure how fit he is because there was doubts if he was going to even play tonight. But he is in the team and he's wandering forward on this near side. But the ball's over on the far side instead. And Luton knocking it around well, you have to say. They've had a lot of possession in this first half, Luton. And they've been neat and tidy with the ball. Now this is chipped over to this near side, but that's it was looking for Doherty actually, but it's gone out for a throw, which Ben White is going to take. Martin Odegaard's limping now actually, which isn't a good sign, is it? The Arsenal goal scoring captain looks like he's took a little bit of a knock there, but I'm sure he'll be able to run that off. We're only 4 or 5 minutes away from half time anyway, so I'm sure he can survive till half time, get some treatment, and he'll be fine. Arsenal just knocking it around at the back. David Raya all in blue. just inside the penalty area. Plays the ball forward, and Arsenal looking a lot more comfortable playing it out from the back these days. I think David Raya has added to that. He's very, very secure, isn't he, with the ball at his feet. He doesn't rush or panic. Yeah, some of his clearances haven't always, pass outs haven't always been great, but we look a lot more comfortable, don't we, playing it out from the back with David Raya in goal. And that's what Mikel Arteta wanted. That's why he was so keen to sign him before he bought Aaron Ramsdale. Anyway, Luton have won the ball again. And they're not frightened to come forward, are they? They've got, 4 players running forward, and they're coming forward inside the box now. Good defending, though, that was from Gabriel. And the ball run through to David Raya. But Luton there, suddenly, they won the ball, and they wasn't frightened to get bodies forward. Fair play to them, actually. You have to say, they've played well in this first half, Luton. You know, they've offered a physical challenge, and also as well they've played some good football. They really have played some good football. I've been impressed with Luton. Oh, that's a lovely bit of play there from Ben White. Now Arsenal with a chance to make it 2-0. Kai Havertz with a shot, good save. Ben White's on the follow-up, is he? No, he's not, because it's cleared away. And that's another save from Kabinski there. That was from Kai Havertz's effort. Nick Nack says there, Barkley threaded a nice ball through there. He did, yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? And Arsenal almost got a second goal there. Kai Havertz with an assist already tonight, looking to get a goal as well. It was a decent effort with his left foot. It was on target. A good save, though, from the keeper. He's made a couple of good saves, hasn't he, the Luton goalkeeper? Nathan says Zinchenko's just played the same before. Yeah, well, he doesn't want to do that, does he? We know Zinchenko's liability at the back. And, yeah, that's what cost that counter-attack there from Luton just a moment ago. But anyway, it is a corner to Arsenal over on that far side, taken short. Played now to the edge of the penalty area. Ball played into the box. Trossard with a shot. He didn't really get hold of it. It's going to fall. Is it here? Oh, it's just wide. Was it Thomas Partey in there? It looked like he had to score. And in the end, he's put that wide. And that was a strange corner routine. But in the end, the ball kind of got deflected. It fell to... Oh, in fact, it was kicked off Thomas Partey by the defender who got there first. And that was a bit fortunate there, actually, for Luton, because that could have gone in. And in the end, it's just rolled wide. Nick Nack says there, nobody seems to be getting on the rebounds. Luton defenders are getting there first. Yeah, they are. They're fully committed, aren't they? You've got to say. No matter where your team are in the league, and no matter how you're playing or what results are like, you see a lot, don't you, about your team and whether they're playing for their manager and their attitude on the pitch. You have to say Luton have given everything in this game. And that's a credit to the manager, I think, as well. Clearly, they're playing for him. And, yeah, I agree with the comment earlier. I think if Luton stay up, he would certainly be with the running for manager of the season. He won't get it, of course, because whoever wins the league will get it. But he certainly would be in the running. He should certainly be in the running, shouldn't he? Absolutely. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward again. We can get a second goal before the break. That should be that. But it is only 1-0. And Luton have offered enough of a threat to suggest that this game isn't won yet. Not quite won yet. We've still got work to do. Martin Odegaard just touches the ball off to William Saliba into the last 2 minutes of the first half. There's been a little bit of stoppage time. There's been 1 or 2 little injuries, hasn't there? So I'm sure we'll see a little bit of stoppage time. But can Arsenal get another goal? Smith Rowe's in behind it. Can he pull the ball back? Smith Rowe tries to it. It's 2-0. That'll seal it. Is it Reece Nelson with the goal? It is. Really good play there from Smith Rowe to set that up. The two HLN boys there combining for the second goal. And Smith Rowe played a part in that first goal. He's now got himself assist for the second goal. And that was really, really good play. And for all Luton's hard work, they are going to find themselves 2-0 down at the break. And you have to say, you have to feel a little bit sorry for them, a little bit for what they've put in. But that was a really well-worked goal, actually. Really good play that was there. Smith Rowe found himself in far too much space, but he made the most of it. Reece Nelson, in fact, that might be an own goal in actual fact. I think it might be an own goal from the Luton defender. It was great play, though, from Smith Rowe. And I don't know, did Reece Nelson get the touch? I hope Reece Nelson's got the touch. Let's have a look again in the replay. I think it's come off the defender. Hachiyoko. It has come off the defender. It's an own goal. It is an own goal. That's a bit unfortunate because it looked like Reece Nelson was going to get his first goal for a while, but I don't think he got a touch on that. He looked a little bit sheepish he ended up in the back of the net, but it is a Hachiyoko own goal. But good player. I mean, Smith Rowe. See, Smith Rowe, you're still getting assists for that. He won't, because I don't think own goal, you don't get assists from, do you? But he should do, because it was great play. It's a lovely ball, a dangerous ball into the box. Terry says Emil Smith Rowe, Swiss roll for England. Yeah, but I don't think it will be, will it? Unfortunately. Mark C says bingo. Nick Nack says should seal it. Yeah, I think that should seal it now. Yeah. Nick Nack says for all Luton's good play. If you look at the form table, the last 6 or last 8 games are actually bottom. Are they really? Okay, well. Nathan says good run, had far too much space. Yeah, he did have far too much space. Yeah, the Luton defence switched off there, didn't they? It's difficult to stay concentrated for a whole 45 minutes when you're under as much pressure as they've been under defensively. They've had to work so hard, switched off for a moment, and it's cost them a second goal. And the Man City game against Aston Villa is just kicking off. You know, of course, Villa beat Man City, didn't they, at Villa Park? And they beat us as well, of course, if you remember. They were going really well, wasn't they, just before Christmas, Aston Villa. But in the end, well, I say in the end, they're still battling for the top 4, aren't they? They're having a good season under Unai Emery. And of course, they are still in Europe as well. And he does love a European final, doesn't he, Unai Emery? He absolutely does. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward again. Can we get another goal? We're into 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Reece Nelson, that goal will not be his, unfortunately. Nick Nack says top of the last 8 form table. Arsenal, of course, Arsenal will be top. All the goals that we've scored, and apart from that draw with Man City, we've won all the rest, haven't we? So yeah, of course we'll be top. But it's not over 8 games that matters, is it? It's over 38 games. You want to be top. It doesn't really matter. Anything else doesn't really matter, does it? It's where you are at the end of game 38. And if you're top then, that's all that counts, because that's when you get that lovely shiny trophy that we've not seen for a very, very long time. And we've never seen it at the Emirates, have we? We have never, ever seen it at the Emirates. We've only won the FA Cup, the only trophy that we've won at the Emirates since we've been here since 2006. It's a long time without winning anything else. You know, we won 4 or 5 FA Cups, but that's not quite enough for Arsenal, is it? You know, we should be winning bigger trophies, more trophies since the move here. And is this going to be the start now? Is this season going to be the start of the new modern era of Arsenal success? The next few weeks are going to tell us, aren't they? But you have to say this season has been an improvement on last season up till now. But this is where it starts to matter, isn't it? Of course, we're going to get the 3 points tonight. We all expected to get the 3 points tonight. And we've got far bigger tests to come, haven't we, over the next few weeks? We might well get a 3rd goal here. Again, it's good defending from Luton. Reece Nelson was looking to get in behind. In fact, I think the referee's given a free kick anyway to the Hatters. And we're into the last minute and a half of stoppage time at the end of this first half. A first half that's not been the greatest half to watch, let's be honest. It hasn't been. There's no getting away from it. But Arsenal getting the job done. And that's pretty much, at this point in the season, all that matters. It is all that matters. We don't really mind too much about anything else, really, do we? It's just all about getting those 3 points. Nick Nack says, top of the league as it stands. Liverpool have a game in hand. No, yeah, Sheffield United at home, exactly. So they're going to win that, aren't they? Let's be honest. There's no real doubt about that, is there? But I'm not going to worry about the other teams. All I'm going to focus on is our form, our results, and that's all that matters, isn't it? And let's see what we can do. Just try and win all our games. And if we do that, then it's up to the others. It's up to Liverpool. If we win all our games, Liverpool's the only team that can stop us. And you know, we just need to make them have to win. It's like, you know, tonight, yeah, you know, they should beat Sheffield United anyway. Let's be honest, but we need tonight to make them have to win. And so far, so good. I mean, he conceded a goal again. In fact, we conceded a free kick in a dangerous position. William Saliba there. It wasn't his mistake initially. We gave the ball away in a very dangerous area. And William Saliba did commit a foul on Jordan Clark. And it's going to be a free kick for Luton. This will be the last action of this first half. And if Luton were to pull a goal back here, it could certainly make the second half a bit more interesting, wouldn't it? It's a free kick. Ross Barkley's over it. He'll fancy his chances. Andros Townsend, we've seen him bang a few Great free kicks in his time. This will be the last action of the first half, and a chance for Luton to get a goal back, which you have to say they probably deserve for the effort they put in. David Raya is lining up his wall, and Arsenal got one more piece of defending to do before half time. And referee Craig Paulson is moving the ball where he wants it. And now he's going to count out the 10 yards for the Arsenal wall. It doesn't look 10 yards away, but I'm sure we'll soon see. I know it probably is actually. It was a bad camera angle before. Anyway, we've played 5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. So this will be the last action. It is going to be Ross Barkley. Is he going to go directly for goal? It's certainly within shooting range. It's about 35 yards out, but it's certainly within shooting range, isn't it? Ross Barkley steps up, fires it in, but straight into the arms of David Raya. And that will be that. In fact, that is it. It is half-time. Arsenal 2, Luton 0. A fairly comfortable first half in many ways. Luton played well. They caused us one or two slight anxiety moments, but Arsenal have got the 2 goals. Martin Odegaard it was with the first one midway through that first half. Smith Rowe won the ball, found Martin Odegaard. He found Kai Havertz, squared the ball to Odegaard, who fired into the corner. And then a second goal just before half time. A little bit of fortune about it in some ways. Again, Smith Rowe was heavily involved, got clear on that left-hand side, drilled the ball across the 6-yard box. And although Reece Nelson was coming in, it wasn't his touch. It was the defender, Ashioka, that put it into his own net to make it 2-0. And yeah, it's pretty much as we expected. Not a great performance from Arsenal, not a great game, if we're totally honest. But in all the years in the 1980s, I remember when Luton were in the first division, there wasn't too many great games against Luton. They never seemed to be at home at Highbury. We used to win them, but there was never memorable games. In fact, I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't even remember too many of those Luton games at Highbury in the 1980s and 1990s when they were in the first division. They certainly wasn't very memorable, most of them, were they? And it's not going to be a particularly memorable game tonight by the look of it. But we're getting a 3 points, and that's the only thing that matters, isn't it? Nick Nack says the last 2 games for Liverpool could be key to wins the title. Spurs at home, then Villa away. Yeah, they're difficult games, yeah. Nick Nack says, which is well, their point away at City is a decent result. It was also potentially 2 drops. See, it's difficult, isn't it? I don't think we can ever be certainly not at this moment in time, in a position where we say that a point away at City is 2 drops, because I don't think it is. Any team that picks up a point at Man City is a point gained. Any team in the Premier League, and I think we have to look at it as a point gained. Yes, had we been shown a little bit more ambition, who knows? We may have got all 3, but I'm certainly not disappointed with a point. I don't think we can look on it as 2 points dropped at City. I don't think you can. I think you have to look at it as a point gained. Nick Nack says only a win at City kept it in Arsenal's hands, a win they didn't want to go for. Yeah, only a win kept it in their hands, but there's still so many games left. And, everybody's got some difficult games. I think our running is probably the most difficult, but who knows? Who knows? Liverpool may still drop points and we can cash in. We'll have to wait and see. Mark C says ESR and Nelson showing their hunger. You'd hope they will. Yeah, no, they've both done all right. I mean, Nelson hasn't really got in the game too much, has he? He was there or thereabouts for that second goal, but yeah, I think ESR's had a good game. Yeah, he's playing well. Terry says, "Come on, chat, hit that like button." Yeah, give us a like, and we'll definitely win the game. There's no doubt. Nick that says it is difficult. Do you gamble to try and win the league, or not gamble, potentially finish second or third? Yeah, that's the difference, though, isn't it? That's what makes a top team and a top manager, is that they do take gambles, and the gambles pay off. You never win anything if you don't take risks. Sometimes you have to, and in the circumstances, and I think had we not lost away at Man City for the last 7-8 years, whatever it is, and we didn't have that monkey on our back, I think we may well have had a little bit more ambition in the latter stages of that game on Sunday, maybe. But I think in the circumstances, because of how results have gone there for us in recent years, and I don't think a draw there is a bad result. I mean, it kept us above City, it kept that gap with City, and I think that was important. And there's nothing that either of us can do about Liverpool's results. We have to just worry about ourselves. And a draw away at Man City is a good result for us. Bearing in mind the previous results we've had there, and the fact we got a draw at Anfield, we've got a draw at City. These are good results away from home. They're mature performances, both of them were, and and that's a good sign, isn't it? We've still got a lot of work to do though this season. Some really big, difficult away games to come, haven't we? So let's see if we do it. Nick Neck says, ultimately, we don't know until the end of the season whether that was a point gained or 2 lost. But that's what makes it an exciting title race. Yeah, no, you're right. We won't. If we lose the league by 1 point or 2 points, right? I don't think you could turn around and say we lost it away at Man City because we only got a draw. It'll be more to do with the fact that we lost at home to West Ham in a game that we dominated, or we threw away a lead at Fulham and lost that game. We threw away a lead at home to Fulham, and we threw away a lead at home to Tottenham. That'll be the games where if we do lose the league by 1 or 2 points, it won't be a draw away at City that it will say cost us the league. It will be those other games where we threw away silly points that we shouldn't have done. We really shouldn't have done. So that'll be the thing. I think a draw away at City in any season is a good result. So I'm not gonna. If we do lose the league by 2 points, it won't be because of that game. I would say it'll be because of some of the other games where we lost points that we shouldn't have lost. Nick Neck says, on the other side of the coin, lose to City and it's potentially over. The point does at least keep the title alive. Well, it keeps us in with a big chance, doesn't it? You can see kind of Liverpool weren't exactly brilliant against Brighton. They got the job done. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's just about getting the results. And, that was a big game for us, a big test for us. And we came out with something. And I would have took a draw all day long before, and absolutely would have done. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, I was just frustrated a little bit that we didn't show a little bit more ambition at times in that game. But it's a risk, isn't it? And was it worth taking a risk to try and win it where we could have ended up losing, or just take the point and think, you know what, that's all right. That's all right. It keeps us above City, and it means there's only one team we've got to chase down rather than 2. And that's got to be a bonus, hasn't it, at this point in the season? Wayne says, yeah, 100%. It's the other games, not the Etihad one. They haven't lost at home since December 2022. Yeah, exactly. But even just despite that fact, that's true. But yeah, absolutely, it's not. We've got 4 points against City and 4 points against Liverpool, right? We led at Anfield 1-0. You could look at that and say, well, was that 2 points dropped? No, a draw away at Liverpool, a draw away at Man City, a great result. But only 1 point in 2 games against Fulham. That could be the games that cost us, isn't it? It's that type of thing. We only drew with Tottenham at home. If we lose away, one point from 4 against Tottenham as well. So they'll be the games. Yeah, absolutely. It won't be the City game. Absolutely no, or the Liverpool game. Nick Nat says, if Liverpool weren't in the title race, a point at City tactically is definitely the right thing to do. But regardless of that, we couldn't afford to lose that game. Absolutely not. If we'd lost on Sunday, it's over. It would have been over because, I think it's all very well trying to chase down one team ahead of you in the last 9 games. To try and chase down 2 is nigh on impossible, especially when it's these 2 teams that we're talking about, Man City and Liverpool, that have done it time and time again. So we couldn't lose on Sunday. And, it was mentioned, wasn't it, afterwards, if you can't win a game like that, the most important thing is not to lose, and we did that. So I'm happy with that result. I've got to be honest. And whatever happens, it won't be down to the fact that we spent too long defending in that game that's cost us. No, it won't. It will be, I'll say, some of the other games where we blew it. Nathan says, I'm sure I heard it's the first time a team has kept a clean sheet away to City in a few years. Yeah, I think it's 57 games or something, wasn't it? So it just goes to show, doesn't it? They normally do score at home, and they didn't. So that's great. Greg says, the past doesn't matter now. It's what happens between now and the end of the season. It does, exactly, yeah. What's happened before has got us in the position that we're in, but it's what happens now that's going to define what happens at the end, isn't it? Where we finish in the table, whether we win a trophy, whether we win nothing. And that's going to be, yeah, you're right. It's what happens now, isn't it? Is that, I've just been looking there, was that... Lockyer dude who's with Martin Keown, the Luton captain, who He's had 2 heart attacks in the last year, hasn't he? Well, and there he is on the telly. Brilliant. Great to see him okay, isn't it? Waiting to do exactly the Fulham, Villa away, Newcastle and Spurs and West Ham at home hurt us. Yeah, exactly. So far they have done. Yeah. Imagine if we'd picked up the right results in some. Yeah, I'm not saying we could have won all them games. No, because that's not how football works. But Newcastle away was so poor. The performance, Villa away was a poor performance. You shouldn't be losing away at Fulham when you see some of their results that they've had. The West Ham game at home, we know we should have won that game. We had 50 chance, whatever it was, and yeah, Spurs, and we conceded straight after scoring. So yeah, we've been the architects of our own downfall a little bit, haven't we? And yeah, but let's see. We still might do it despite all of that. So he says, to be fair, we've had a couple of great escapes as well. Chelsea springs to mind. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we have. We've got out of jail a couple of times. Yeah, the Chelsea game is one. There's been others as well, hasn't there? I know there has. I can't think of it. A last-minute winner against Brentford away. Do you remember Kai Havertz got that goal? We were close to dropping points there. Wasn't it Brentford at home as well? It was a late goal, wasn't it? Won that one. So yeah, we've had some escapes, haven't we? We have. You're right, and that's football, isn't it? That's the season. There's some games where you don't get what you deserve. Other games you get more than you deserve, and that's the way it goes. It's over 38 games. You do finish where you should finish, whether that's first, second for us, or third this season. Wherever it is, that's where we deserve to finish. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, none of them results will hurt us because we've done enough over the season. Where he says, yeah, it was Tom Locker. Yeah, it's great to see him, isn't it? It's incredible, really, that he even came back and played again after his first heart attack. Have a second one. Yes, he's not going to be able to play again, is he? I wouldn't imagine, but it's good to see him. He looks well, doesn't he? And that's great to see, isn't it? We saw something similar, not as serious it appears in the game on Sunday. With Frida Marnham, and it's horrible to see. Seeing that happen in front of your eyes, someone just collapse like that on a pitch. It's terrible. It really is bad. And I suppose it's even worse when it's one of your players as opposed to the opposition. It'd be bad anyway, whoever it was. But to see that happen in front of your face, in front of your eyes, it's really, really horrible to see. It really, really is. And yeah, I'm glad. It's good to see him. Looking well, and we're hoping that Frida will be, will recover quickly as well. We want to see her back. If she can play again, fantastic. Nick Nat says the pressure's on Liverpool now, though. The title is theirs to lose. Well, yeah, no, the pressure's on all three of us, isn't it? Because, whoever loses a game now, it's going to be really tough, isn't it, to make that back because of the number of games that's left. So that's pretty much the way it is, isn't it? Nick Nack says it took a while for people to catch on that Liverpool were serious contenders this season. Yeah, but I think they at the start of the season, a bit like Arsenal, they wasn't looking at their best, were they? They were getting some results, dropping a few points here and there, but they've only lost 2 league games, haven't they, this season? And that's impressive at this point in the season, isn't it? And they don't lose many games Liverpool anyway. I know last season they had a season off, if you like, but usually they don't lose many games, do they? And yeah, they're the team to beat. Let's be honest, they are the team to beat. Greg says the team is nothing like the Invincibles, so you expect the odds to. I said, no, you're right, of course. And I think the league's different now anyway. So yeah, of course you're going to get the odd poor result. And I say it's 38 games, isn't it? The league's decided over 38 games, and whatever points you've dropped or not dropped at the end of the season, I say you'll end up finishing where you finish, and that's it, isn't it? And hopefully we'll be there at the end of it all, but we'll see. Nick Neck says, I think they only went favourites on the market last weekend. Yeah, City are always going to be favourites, aren't they? Because City have been there and done it. I said at the start of the season that with City this season, that no one's ever won the league 4 times in a row. All the great teams that there's been have only managed 3 in a row. Man United, of course, did it twice. Liverpool in the 80s only did it once, and they were a great team. Arsenal did it in the 30s. It's not something that happens very often, winning it 3 in a row, and no one's ever done it 4 times. That just shows how difficult it is. And And I think that everyone kind of expected City to do it. And I think that the pressure seems to have got to them a little bit now, doesn't it? I think chasing that fourth title, and that they've not been quite as good this season, have they, as they have been in the last few seasons. And I still think they're going to be the team that maybe drop some points, and that's why I wasn't too disappointed with that draw, really. So we can keep ahead of them. I think it'll be tougher for them in the running maybe than it will be for us, but we'll see. City scored it. They're showing a bit of a. They have here. City have gone 1-0 up. Rodri is that scored against Villa. So you imagine they're going to go on and win it. Jeremy Docker with the assist, actually. Oh, hang on, Villa are coming forward now. Villa equalised. Oh, they have. Villa equalised. Well, it's 1-1 at half time. Is it Duran with the goal? Duran. Hungry like the wolf, and he's just scored. Anyway, it's 1-1 now at the Etihad. Wow, incredible. Nick Nack says, despite never being more than 3 points off the top, yeah, they've always been there or thereabouts, haven't they? Yeah. Nick Nack says it's difficult to back against City after everything they've done the last few years. Nick Nack says possible offside. Yeah, but he wasn't interfering with play, was he? The guy that scored, Duran, was he offside? So anyway, we're back off underway in the second half. Arsenal attacking the goal to our left and North Bank. Arsenal 2, Luton 0. We are heading towards 3 points anyway. But Man City looks like they've still got some work to do. That game's only been playing for half an hour or so. It is 1-1 there. And there's been no changes at half time, I don't think. And we are back off and underway here at the Emirates. Nick Nack says goal given. Yeah, the goal was given. Yeah, it's 1-1 at the Etihad. Aston Villa playing against Manchester City. And yeah, are City going to drop some more points? That would basically finish them off, wouldn't it? I mean, there's still a long way to go in that game, isn't it, at the moment? So the score so far tonight, then obviously Arsenal are 2-0 up. Brentford is 0, Brighton 0, and I say Man City 1, Aston Villa 1. Rodri and Duran with the goals there within the first 20 minutes. There's plenty of time left in that game. And of course, tomorrow Liverpool play Sheffield United and Chelsea play Manchester United as well. So a couple of big games there tomorrow, isn't there? And of course, we're back in action on Saturday, aren't we? Away at Brighton. That's going to be a difficult game as well, isn't it? Brighton are a good side these days, and they'll certainly give us a test, won't they? We've had a few difficult games down at Brighton, haven't we, over the recent years? So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a difficult one again, isn't it? But let's see how we get on there, and hopefully we will get another victory, but we shall see. That's the 5:30 kickoff, of course, and of course we'll be here for that game. 5:15 on Saturday. Join us for that one. And of course, before that, on Friday, we are here. We'll be doing the Arsenal Women's Show. Of course, we are looking back on the Continental Cup final, and also as well keeping an eye on the Lionesses start the Euro qualifiers, of course, against Sweden on Friday night as well. So we'll be keeping you updated with that game, as well as doing, of course, a brilliant Continental Cup final review, which what a day that was, just fantastic. Don't care anyone says about the Continental Cup not being important. It certainly was, it certainly is, and it felt a lot bigger than it was when we won it. So yeah, we'll look at all of that. Anyway, Luton are trying to come forward again to start this second half. They haven't given this up, have they? They need a bit of a miracle if they're going to turn this around and get a result, but they'll keep trying. I'm sure they'll keep playing their football, and who knows, we've just given the ball away again. But we have won it straight back again. Martin Odegaard now tries to thread the ball. He's got a deflection now. He's looking to put Kai Havertz away. He's had a good game tonight, Kai Havertz. He's been neat and tidy, hasn't he? Got an assist and almost got himself a goal as well, didn't he, with an effort that was saved. He's played pretty well tonight. But let's see what happens in this second half. Arsenal in possession now. Zinchenko on halfway finds Gabriel, gets it back again. Zinchenko. And Martin Odegaard just touches the ball off there to Emil Smith-Rowe, finds Gabriel. Smith Rowe gets it back, plays that ball forward over on that far side, but goes out for a throw to Arsenal. We've played 49 minutes at the Emirates. It is Arsenal 2, Luton 0. Fairly comfortable it's been as well. But Luton have given this a good go. They haven't, I heard some people say that Luton are just going to write this game off and concentrate more on a game they've got on a weekend against Bournemouth. But no, they haven't. They've given this a good go, Luton. And fair play to them for that. But obviously the extra quality that we've got has been decisive in certain moments, hasn't it, in the 2 goals that we've got. And that should be enough to see this game through, shouldn't it? But Dan was with us. Hey, my friend, good to see you. Hope you're well. Enjoying the game, of course. Another Arsenal victory is coming to be not too far away now. You expect, barring some real disaster from Arsenal. We just need to manage this game well in the second half, don't we? And if we can get the 3rd goal and more if possible, then even better. But we don't need to, do we? We just need to manage the game well and get those 3 points in the bag. January says, more likes, more goals. Yeah, more likes do lead to more goals. It depends on what you want, really. If you want Arsenal to score a few more goals, then get your likes in. If you're quite happy with it to be 2-0, that's up to you. I'd like to see some more goals. Of course, we all would, wouldn't we? Let's be honest. Nathan says, Rob Jones does not strike me as the type of manager to bin games off, especially when they need points. Rob Edwards it is, but, I get what you mean. No, I don't. I never thought they would. There's a lot of people said, "Oh, Luton probably won't be that bothered about this game because it's Arsenal away." But no, I expected them to be strong and solid, and that's what they've been. And in the end, I say our quality has shone through at the key moments. And let's hope that we can go on and get another couple of goals. Would be nice, wouldn't it? I never like a second half when you're 2-0 up and then you don't get any more goals, and it's a bit boring, isn't it? Anyway, else going forward again. Maybe this is a chance for a goal. Trossard. Again, really strong defending by Luton. Really strong defending again, and Trossard couldn't get through there, could he? And I say they've defended him. They've defended really, really well, Luton, for the most part. Smith Rowe with the ball through again. He's had a good game, Smith Rowe, tonight, but he was just too strong there, wasn't he? For Trossard, and the ball's going to go out for a goal kick to Luton. Of course, the whole momentum of this game could shift if Luton were to get a goal back. We said this before half time. They had that free kick. If they can get a goal back, then suddenly the nerves will kick in, I'm sure. But if we do get the next goal and go 3-0 up, definitely. Anyway, Luton, we just a sloppy free kick there. That was really, really sloppy. And now Luton can come forward over on that far side. Across comes into the box. Cleared away, though, by Zinchenko. But Luton pick up the loose ball again. And they're certainly committing bodies forward, Luton, you have to say. Andros Townsend on this near side. He had a decent first half, didn't he, for Luton? Put a couple of really good balls in, actually, I thought. He did. And Ross Barkley now in possession for Luton. And they certainly haven't completely given this game up yet, have they? And like I said, we didn't expect them to, did we? Nathan says, do you think a bigger club would take a chance on Barkley? Well, he's played for a bigger club before, hasn't he? Didn't quite work out for him, did it? But the season that he's had, I'm sure someone will be looking to catch in maybe and get him. I'm sure he won't cost an awful lot, would he? Anyway, Luton are making a sub now. Chong is coming on. He's a very good player, isn't he? He's a really good player. And it is going to be Mengi who's coming off. Mengi's coming off. Ted and Mendy's coming off for Luton. I think he's one of their players that's played all the way through the leagues for them, hasn't he? So brilliant stuff from him. And it is going to be Tahita Chong who's coming on. I think it was Impenza that's gone off, sorry. Pelly and Penza. I think he's another one, isn't he, that's played all the way through the leagues, hasn't he? Chong's coming on. He's a bit more of a goal for it, isn't he? Hasn't he scored in his last 3 or 4 games or something, hasn't he? Chong for Luton. So he's going to offer a goal for it. So they haven't given it up, have they? They're making an attacking sub, bringing off a more defensive midfield player, bringing on an attacker who's got a goal in him. So, Rob Edwards certainly isn't writing this game off, is he? Even though they are 2-0 down and they've got an absolute mountain to climb. But they've done well in the second half, Luton, and they're playing well here as well over on that far side, looking to try to find a goal back, which I say could change the whole momentum of this game. Andros Townsend now have a little bit of space on this near side, a little bit too much space maybe. He's closed down now though by Trossard. Townsend has done well. Can he get the cross in? He does get the cross in. Looking for Chong actually, but Arsenal do manage to clear it away. And Martin Odegaard's there finds Reece Nelson. But that's going to be the threat. They seem to be looking for Townsend quite a lot. He's got a good delivery, hasn't he? From this near side, Luton Town's right. And he was looking for the substitute Chong there in the goals lately. He's got some good hair, hasn't he? He looks like he should be in like a 1990s American rap band with hair like that, doesn't he? Anyway, he's certainly been scoring a few goals lately for Luton, and it's Arsenal looking for more goals here. This ball's played out to this near side. Can Trossard keep it in? He can't. And it is going to be a throw to Luton. We've played 55 minutes. That's 10 minutes of this second half gone. Not too much has happened in the second half, if we're honest. It's a bit like the first half, very flat. But these are the games that you get, don't you, at this point in the season? As I said, it's the pressure's there, isn't it? You know, Arsenal won the ball back now, high up the pitch. This could be an opportunity. Martin Odegaard plays it out to that far side. Reece Nelson couldn't quite take the ball in his stride. And Luton have cleared that away. Some vague shouts for a penalty. It wasn't a penalty. It was, I think, Reece Nelson just kind of slipped over. He couldn't quite get the ball in his stride. And it just ran away from him when he slips over. And referee Craig Paulson was having none of that. I think that's the right decision there. I don't think it was a foul. Well, I don't know, actually. It was Chong. Maybe Chong did actually catch it. It was outside the box anyway. But, yeah, maybe it was a foul looking at the replay. It looked like Reece had just maybe slipped over, but maybe he was caught. Anyway, nothing was given. And Luton are now in possession and trying to bring the ball forward with Andros Townsend again on this near side. Arsenal 2, Luton 0, but not a very impressive Arsenal performance. But a lot of changes to the lineup. And it's one of them games, isn't it, that you don't really care too much about as long as you win. You know, you're not really looking at the performance with the number of changes in the team. You want one or two players to step up. I think Smith Rowe's done well. Reece Nelson's not really had as much impact as I hoped he might have done tonight so far. But, yeah, it's been a little bit of a flat performance, shall we say. Times when I say there, he says Nelson falling to the ground too much. Yeah, he's not really grabbed his chance tonight, I don't think, Reece Nelson. I think Emil Smith-Rowe's done well, but not really Reece Nelson, unfortunately. Anyway, David Raya with that long clearance. Kai Havertz is after it. And Kai Havertz has done really well, actually, but good defending again from Luton, you have to say. They have defended for their absolute lives tonight. But a couple of they switched off a couple of times and it's cost them 2 goals, and that's a lesson for Luton, isn't it? When you're playing in the Premier League against the top sides, any little mistake that you make is going to be punished, and that's been the difference tonight, hasn't it? In this game, you know, Arsenal have had a fair amount of control in terms of keeping possession of the ball as you would expect, but you know it's two moments where Luton switched off defensively that's cost them the 2 goals. And that's the lesson, isn't it? In the Premier League, you don't really get too many second chances, do you? When you play the top team, especially away from anyone else going forward. Now looking for another goal. Kai Havertz, can he get a finish? He's just inside the penalty area. Kai Havertz plays it square instead to Martin Odegaard. Switches the ball in, tries a pirouette, but ran in to a couple of Luton defenders. That's good play from Luton, actually. Again, coming forward. Andros Townsend now on this near side. Good play from Leandro Trossard, though. Wins the ball back. And now Arsenal have got a man over Emil Smith-Rowe in possession. He took too long there, Smith-Rowe. And he's conceded a free kick. He needed to get that ball passed earlier. And I think he knows it himself. But again, that's maybe just a little bit of lacking sharpness, isn't it? Because he's not playing much football, has he? And you've almost got to excuse. I know Arteta won't excuse him, and he'll leave him out of the next game, no doubt. But you have to say that was just a lack of sharpness there from Smith-Rowe. He got caught in possession there. It took too long to decide what to do, and lost the ball and then gave away a free kick in frustration. But anyway, he's had a decent enough game, and he just needs to. What he needs a run of 4 or 5 games, doesn't he? Really, to get back to his best. But he's not going to get 4 or 5 games, is he? Because you can guarantee on Saturday, Declan Rice will be back. Probably Jorginho will be back. And that'll be Emil Smith-Rowe's moment gone, won't it, you feel? But anyway, let's see what happens. He may, I mean, I think he's maybe done enough to warrant another start, but it's Brighton away. Anyway, Arsenal's given the ball away. Very sloppy play this Arsenal. Oh, and almost a missed kick there from Gabriel. In fact, I think it's a free kick to Luton anyway. Well, Arsenal have been a little bit sloppy in this second half, you have to say. And we almost conceded a chance there. Martin Odegaard's complaining to the referee, not quite sure why. We got ourselves in a bit of a muddle there. Wasn't great play. And in the end, it was a late challenge there from Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel just got in the way of the ball. But it is a free kick to Luton. And if they were to score here with 30 minutes still to play, then who knows? The nerves might really start kicking in for Arsenal. Now, so you do feel that Luton's best chance in this game is going to be from a set piece, isn't it? Because that's in open play. They've not really created very much at all, have they? So you do feel that set pieces are their strength. They've got a lot of height. They did cause us a few problems from set pieces at Kenilworth Road. And they've got a free kick here over on that far side, which Doherty's going to take. We know he's got a decent delivery. Arsenal have got to keep this out here. We don't want to give Luton any encouragement here, do we, at all? And Arsenal got to be focused on defending here. This free kick from Doherty. We do tend to concede goals at home, don't we? Clean sheets at the Emirates aren't always that easy to find. But we need to defend this one well here. The free kick comes in from Doherty towards the far post, headed away. Good defensive header that was there from Gabriel. Andros Townsend picks up the loose ball on this near side, though, for Luton. Whips in across. It's deflected, actually, by Kai Havertz. Luton still in possession, though, and they are forced back now. But good defensive header that was there from Gabriel, you have to say. Ty says, which Havertz was a striker would have took the opportunity, not look around through the pass to. Yeah, exactly. And Ty says, yeah, but to be fair, Havertz has been good this game, been in good positions looking down. No, he played well this game, yes, you're right. In fact, he's been playing pretty well recently anyway, hasn't he, in most games. Anyway, Luton are having a good spell here. They've had a good second half, Luton. I'm sure their manager, Rob Edwards, will be really pleased with how they've played in the second half. Whatever he said at half-time, they've carried out, and the only thing they haven't managed to do is get that goal back. But there's still half an hour to play, and they are coming forward now. This is looking dangerous. Inside the penalty area, shot comes in, but it's, if it was meant to be a cross or a shot, anyway, it was too close to David Raya, who's dealt with that fairly comfortably, you have to say. But, yeah, Luton again looking dangerous. Again, it was Jordan Clark, who looks like a good little player for Luton, actually, doesn't he? But that wasn't a great cross from this near side. And Arsenal managed to get that ball away. And now it's back with David Raya trying to play it out from the back. Arsenal. Do you remember when we first started playing it out from the back? And it was an absolute disaster, wasn't it? We conceded so many stupid goals doing it. And every time we did it, it'd give us all heart attacks. And now we've got the hang of it a bit more now, haven't we? We very rarely make silly mistakes back there doing it now. And that's credit to the work that's gone on the training ground, I guess, isn't it? To improve that aspect of our play. Because it used to be absolutely terrible, didn't it? It really did used to be bad. We used to constantly concede stupid goals, didn't we, from doing it? But not anymore, which is good to see, isn't it? And let's hope that continues to be the case. Because we don't want to keep conceding stupid goals, do we? Playing it out from the back. We concede too many stupid goals as it is after time. Anyway, we are coming forward now with Leandro Trossard trying to get what would be the ceiling third goal, wouldn't it? But it's going to be a throw to Luton on this near side. We've played 63 minutes at the Emirates. Nathan says, what is it with this strange camera? Yeah, I know they're trying to, TNC are trying to be too clever, aren't they? They've done some really stupid camera angles, and it's like, you know, football on TV, you need that one camera angle, don't you, on a halfway line, because that's, you get the best angle. Yes, from replays, you want certain different angles. Of course you do, you know, behind the goal and stuff like that for replays and whatnot. But for the game, you just show it from that halfway line position, because that's traditional, isn't it? And it just looks better. You don't need to try and be too clever there. Anyway, this is a good attack from Luton over on that far side. Chong's ball in. Oh, it's just cleared away by Zinchenko, as it was almost going to fall there to Andros Townsend. Chong's made a difference, hasn't he, for Luton since he's come on down that far side. Look really, really lively. Luton now on the attack again over on that far side. Morris holds it up, and they're going to put a cross into the box. They do put a cross into the box. Good header away. Arsenal don't really get the second ball, and now we've cleared it away again. This is Luton. You have to say Luton have been really good in this second half. Arsenal have been poor, you have to say, but you have to give credit to Luton. They really took the game to us, and it would have been easy for them at 2-0 down to have thought, right, okay, this is done. But they haven't. They've given it a real go, and it's made it an interesting game, not an exciting game quite yet, but it's certainly been interesting still, and Luton have kept it interesting with the way that they've played in the second half, certainly, and much of the first half as well. But Arsenal have I said at the beginning, we just needed to manage this second half. And so far, we've managed to do that. Yes, we've allowed Luton a lot more possession than maybe we would want. But, we still look largely in control of the game. But Luton have had one or two moments, haven't they? And that was a decent cross in there. But again, Arsenal have managed to defend it pretty well. We've defended well when we've had to tonight. But Luton are pushing people on now. They're pushing bodies forward. And you do feel as though if they don't get a goal back within the next 10 minutes, if they keep doing this, I think there'll be some spaces in behind and we'll probably pick them off and get another goal or two, which we're trying to do now. Reece Nelson heads that back to Ben White, striding forward for Arsenal. Ben White plays it in to Kai Havertz, who's done well again, and he's fouled. Is he fouled? The referee says yes. It looked like a foul from behind from Jordan Clark. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal midway through this second half. In fact, it's going to be a yellow card. And Kai Havertz there. Oh, has he just booked Kai Havertz for diving? I think he might have done, He has. He's booked Kai Havertz for diving there. Wow. I think Kai Havertz was expecting the challenge to come in by Clark. And the challenge didn't come in, and he's gone down anyway. Anyway, we're making two substitutions now. And in fact, Kai Havertz is one of those players going off. He's just been booked for diving. I'm sure that's not the reason why he's been taken off. He's being taken off now, shaking his head as he goes off. He played well tonight, Kai Havertz. He did well. Thomas Partey's going off as well. He did all right tonight, didn't he? Good to see him back in the team. And it is Eddie Nketiah and Declan Rice are coming on. I just think maybe to try and gain a little bit more control in this second half, because Luton have been the better team in the second half. There's no doubt about that. And I think maybe bringing Declan on just to give us a bit more control, and obviously Eddie up front as I say a proper centre forward. I use the term loosely. He's not really a proper centre forward, is he? But he's more of a centre forward than Kai Havertz. And you can maybe see what Mikel Arteta's thoughts are there to try to get us a little bit more control of the game again, because we've lost our way a bit in the second half, haven't we? Let's be honest. And you do feel as though if Luton were to get a goal back, football is about momentum, isn't it? And we've lost all our momentum in this game. And if Luton were to score, I think it'd be quite difficult for Arsenal to get that momentum back. And we may then be hanging on for the win in the last 15, 20 minutes or so. Anyway, so far Luton haven't really tested David Raya too much at all, have they? So we're looking still fairly comfortable, but certainly all our forward momentum's gone completely, hasn't it? Anyway, Martin Odegaard's trying to change that now. Tries to thread the ball through over on that far side to Eddie Nketiah, but he can't get through. And in the end, Luton should tie that. In fact, it was an offside anyway against Eddie Nketiah. His first involvement is to go offside. So there you go. Kind of sums him up, really, doesn't it? Anyway, it is coming up to half time at the Etihad. It is still Man City 1, Aston Villa 1. That is where we are there. Are City going to drop another 2 points? Wow, that would be a shock, wouldn't it? And that would almost rule him out of the title race, would it? Well, I don't know if it would rule him out completely, but, we would be 3 points ahead of them. And we'd be 1 point ahead of Liverpool as well, of course, going into the final 8 games of the season. Well, anyway, Liverpool do play tomorrow, of course, as we said, against Sheffield United at Anfield. It'd be the biggest shock of the season if they don't win that game by about 3 or 4-0, won't it? But then, this game's not been easy for Arsenal, has it, against Luton? So, at this point in the season, as we said, it's about winning. Anyway, Luton trying to come forward again, a ball into the box, cleared away. And Luton are giving this a go. You have to take your hat off to Luton. The Hatters, you have to take your hat off to the Hatters in this second half. They really have given it a go. And they've made it a bit uncomfortable for us. But while it remains 2-0, it's okay, isn't it? It's okay, let's be honest. Luton are coming forward again. Andros Townsend on this near side. Nathan says, I think if City were to lose tonight, I think they would be out of the race. Absolutely, yeah, of course they would, yeah. With obviously Arsenal winning this game, and you'd imagine Liverpool will win tomorrow, I think that would put them out. Anyway, Luton coming forward again over on that far side. This is a lovely move from them. Oh, the cross wasn't too good, was it? And Zinchenko can just knock it back to goalkeeper David Raya. A better cross there, and Morris would have fancied his chances there, wouldn't he, of getting on the end of that. But Luton have played some really nice stuff here. They really are playing well. And we've been a little bit sloppy. We've been sloppy in this second half, and it's not really what we would have wanted. You know, it was about managing the game, and yes, we are still 2-0 up with 20 minutes to play. But yeah, it's been not really that impressive from Arsenal at all. But ultimately, it's about the 3 points, isn't it? And if we end up winning this game, then I'm pretty sure we won't have too many complaints, will we? Let's be honest. Arsenal are looking for that third goal. Reece Nelson trying to get in, but again, it's good defending from Luton. And again, they pick the ball up, and again, they're trying to play their football. I've actually been. I'm surprised. I mean, I shouldn't be, because they played really well against us at Kenilworth Road as well, didn't they? But I'm surprised at how impressed I've been by Luton. Some of their football tonight has been absolutely brilliant. It really has. And yeah, they've done themselves proud, actually. They've done their manager proud, and the fact he's frustrated there with that cross, that just was not a great cross from Luton. There just goes to show that he still fancies they can get something here. And you have to say, I don't feel that we've definitely won this game. At times, as they're Luton attacking our right hand side, like, yeah, they are. And they're looking good, aren't they? They have really impressed me. They've been one of the most impressive teams that's come to the Emirates this season, the way they've played. They're coming forward again on this near side this time. A ball drilled in. Good defending that, though, from Gabriel at the near post. It's going to be a throw, though, to Luton. And they are doing really well here tonight. I wonder why Townsend's got Townsend Senior. Is that because he's had a child and he just wants to let everybody know? Anyway. Very strange. But Luton are still in possession on this near side. And coming forward again, Ross Barkley. That's a nice little ball. Gets it back again. Ross Barkley, who dictates the pace of their play in midfield, doesn't he? He's going to pick the ball up again on this near side. It wasn't a great pass, actually, but he's made the most of it. And he's kept possession for Luton. Greg says that we need the third goal to take the win down. Absolutely, we do, yeah. It's suddenly getting to the point where you feel the next goal is going to be so important in this game. Because if Luton were to get it, and they've certainly had one or two moments, then I think we're going to be really nervy, aren't we? Man City have just gone 2-1 up. Phil Foden with the goal for them against Aston Villa. Of course, they're not going to drop points tonight, are they? We were a bit silly to think that they would. But as I said, I don't really care too much what other teams do. We win our games, and that's all I care about. I won't even watch the Liverpool game tomorrow. I will just probably catch the result at some point later. Anyway, Luton coming forward again. This is really enterprising play. There's no one in the box for him, though. But he's won a corner. Well done to Luton again. And now they can get players in the box. Good defending from Leandro Trossard, who's given up his refereeing job, of course, when he refereed the Arsenal-Porto game. He's now back playing again for Arsenal. He's got a part-time job as a referee, which is good, isn't it? Anyway, Arsenal making 2 more subs now. Gabriel Martinelli and Tomiyasu. Do not bring on something with defending a corner, Mikel. That is a stupid thing to do. That's schoolboy error, that. In fact, I don't think we are going to make the subs quite yet. He's going to be Doherty with this corner for Luton. Alfie Doherty wearing number 45. The corner's on this near side. Luton's right. He's going to swing it into the edge of the 6-yard box. Dangerous ball headed away, though, by Arsenal. Well defended. And now Eddie's going to try and launch a counter-attack if he can. In fact, it was Reece Nelson. And is it going to be a yellow card there for a Luton player who held him back to stop that counter-attack? And now we can make the substitutions. That's fine. He did hold Reece Nelson back there as he was trying to get the counter-attack going. He held him back about 3 times. And it's a yellow card for Fred Onedimya. And Arsenal should make those substitutions now. Zinchenko's going off. He didn't make any silly mistakes tonight, did he? So well done to Zinchenko, and Tomiyasu's coming on. And Reece Nelson's going off. He didn't have a great game tonight. He didn't really take his opportunity, did he, that he was given with Saka completely rested from the squad. So he is going off, and Gabriel Martinelli's coming on. You'd imagine Trossard will probably go to that right-hand side, and Martinelli will play on the left, you would assume, but we shall see. And Martinelli's coming on, and Reece Nelson trudging off. I think he realises he didn't really make the most of that opportunity tonight, did he? Yes, he almost got himself a goal. It was an own goal in the end, but yeah, not. You haven't what you wouldn't have watched that game tonight and thought, oh well, yeah, Reece Nelson deserves a chance again at the weekend. I don't think he does. I think Smith Rowe does, whether he'll get one or not. But Reece Nelson, I don't think, has done enough to warrant a place in the team. Now, Luton are going to make a sub as well, and it is going to be the guy that's just been booked. Ollie Wimyard's going off, and I can't see who's coming on actually. Let's have a look. I was just announcing it now. Oh, it's Woodrow. It is Castley Woodrow, who recently scored in the Premier League, didn't he? And I think he scored in every division in the league for Luton as well. So, you know, they've got some players that have done the work for them, haven't they? They really have. Anyway, Ben White was coming forward there, and the ball's gone behind for a goal kick, I think it is. It looked like it should have been a corner, maybe. Anyway, it is a goal kick to Luton into the last 15 minutes, and Arsenal should get this over the line, and we're looking fairly likely to do that still. But the second half has been far from impressive. But at this point in the season, it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter how we play, as long as we get those 3 points. I'll take another 10. Or sorry, another 8 after this, another 8 scrappy performances if they end up with all 3 points. But yes, this hasn't been the most fluent Arsenal performance by any means, has it? And in fact, it's been quite poor, if we're honest. But if we're going to play badly against one of the weaker teams that we can still win. And hopefully we'll raise our game on Saturday evening against Brighton. Well, we're going to have to, aren't we? Because Brighton are a decent team, and they will cause us problems if we allow them to. Anyway, Luton trying to come forward again. Again, that's a good defensive play from Gabriel, who's been solid tonight. And of course, his partnership with William Saliba is developing into one of the best that we've certainly had for a long time. And Ty says, yeah, Martinelli will help with tracking back on the right. Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons why he's brought him on. So I don't think Reece Nelson did enough of anything tonight, did he? Anyway, Martinelli's trying to get forward down that right-hand side. In fact, he might get in here, will he? But the goalkeeper should get that ball, heads it, because it was played back to him by the defender. So he had to head it. And he's done well, actually. And Luton have kept possession. And you have to say, if Luton keep playing like they have in the second half, then they're going to probably stay up, aren't they? Anyway, Tommy Asu's called into action for the first time, covering across there, played the ball back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. And into the last 13 minutes of this game here at the Emirates. Luton's first ever visit to the Emirates. They certainly haven't embarrassed themselves, have they? They've done themselves proud in actual fact. And they've done their manager proud as well. What a good all-round team performance it's been from them. And they've got another free kick, which Ross Barkley is going to take. And it looks as though Arsenal are still going to get the 3 points, but Luton will certainly get a lot of the credit for the way they've played tonight. And it's going to probably lead to no points, though, but it should give them a lot of confidence going into the last few games of the season for them as they fight relegation, look to stay up in the Premier League. And their fans there behind that goal at the clock end are getting behind their team as well. 12 minutes to play at the Emirates. It is Arsenal 2, Luton 0. Those 2 first half goals seem like a long time ago, don't they? Because the second half hasn't really got going for Arsenal at all. I say it's been really, really poor. But we are on the brink of these important 3 points, which would prove to be crucial. And Arsenal looking for that third goal now, which would seal it. Martinelli over on that far side. Can he get the cross in? He's held up there, though, by 2 Luton defenders. He keeps possession well, though, Gabriel Martinelli. But he's given the ball away. And now Luton are launching an attack of their own with Ross Barkley bringing the ball forward. What a season he's had. for Luton. This is a good ball as well. Suddenly Luton have got a player over on this near side. This is dangerous from Luton, but he took too long to make the pass there, and Trossard was able to clear it away. And now Arsenal can launch a counter-attack. Eddie Nketiah, suddenly the game's become a bit stretched, finally. Eddie's done well. He's not got a lot of support, though. Trossard's now come to join him. Trossard's thought about a shot. Fired it off to Tomiyasu. He will try a shot. Tomiyasu's just curled it wide. Got one goal, of course, for Arsenal this season. His first goal it was. Looking for another one there. And he's just curled that shot wide there from the edge of the box with his right foot. And I think the goalkeeper probably had that covered anyway. But good effort there from Tomiyasu. Good to see him back fit. He's going to be an important player, isn't he, in the run into the season, I'm sure. But he probably won't be starting so many games, but he's a great player to have on the bench, isn't he? And he'll definitely play his part when needed, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a goal kick to Luton. Goes long into the Arsenal half. Again, Tomiyasu defends that pretty well. But again, Luton have picked the ball up, but they haven't, because it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. It's a foul there on Eddie Nketiah. Into the last 10 minutes, Luton making another substitution. And it is going to be... who's this coming on? Andros Townsend's going off. Getting a reception there from the Arsenal fans, of course. Andros Townsend played well, though, didn't he? He did have a good game for Luton tonight. And he has just been replaced here in the last 10 minutes by Luke Berry. Anyway, here's Trossard now in possession for Arsenal. Ty says here, you would hope Luton will tire themselves out and Arsenal get another goal in the last 10. Yeah, they've worked hard, Luton, and yeah, there probably will be one or two spaces appear in these last 10 minutes, and we can add another goal or two, but it doesn't matter too much, does it? I'll take a 2-0 win now all day long. That's fine, a clean sheet and another 3 points, but the second half's been quite poor, let's be honest. Arsenal are coming forward now, looking for what would be that third goal. Ben White plays the ball into the box. Eddie Nketiah, it doesn't quite fall for him. It's gone behind. It is going to be a goal kick. And Arsenal now on the brink of these 3 points. It is a goal kick to Luton. And time is against the visitors here at the Emirates tonight. We're deep into these last 10 minutes. And if they're going to have any chance of getting a point, they are going to have to score a goal very, very soon, aren't they, Luton? Otherwise, Arsenal should just be able to cruise over the line and see this game through. Tomiyasu now in possession for Arsenal over on this near side. Almost got that third goal a minute ago, Declan Rice. Now, he's not really had too much involvement since he's come on deck, has he? But it's fine. He's just been brought on to shore things up a little bit and give us a bit more control in midfield. Which maybe it's happened actually since the substitutions. We've maybe had a little bit more of the ball. But Luton again have won it back well. Very physical. They've been in the challenge, haven't they? Chong trying to get forward over on that far side, but the ball's gone back to goalkeeper David Raya. 82 minutes played. And Arsenal in possession again on his near side. Tomiyasu plays it forward to Leandro Trossard. Stayed on the left. Martinelli's gone over on that right-hand side. It was just a like-for-like change in the end. I thought maybe Martinelli and Trossard might have switched wings, but they haven't. Declan Rice now plays the ball forward. And it is going to be Martinelli now. And Eddie Nketiah has made a run, but again, Martinelli couldn't quite get the ball. In fact, he's conceded a free kick. He slipped on anything, and he's ended up crashing into the Luton player, Doherty, who's gone down injured. I don't think he didn't mean that. He just went to play the ball and slipped into the Luton player, Doherty there, who's just picking himself back up again. Probably looks a lot worse than it was, actually, from Martinelli. Anyway, it's a free kick to Luton, which they've taken. We've played 83 minutes. Arsenal closing in on this 3 points. That's been not as comfortable as it maybe could or should have been. 2-0 up at half time, you thought we'd go on and get complete control of this game, but we haven't. That's a poor defensive header there from Gabriel, but the second clearance is a lot better. And Arsenal now trying to get the ball forward with Eddie Nketiah, and Eddie Nketiah has gone down. He was fouled. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal into the last 6 minutes at the Emirates. It's been a poor second half. There's no getting away from it. It has been a really poor second half, but no one will care because we are going to be top of the table tonight. 1 point clear. Jorginho is now going to come on, the last sub for Arsenal, and he is probably going to be he's replacing Emil Smith-Rowe. Well done, Emil, tonight. He had a decent game. Yeah, he's maybe run out of legs a little bit in the second half. He's not played much, has he? And he's just gone off there, Emil Smith-Rowe. And he's done well. Has he done enough to get himself another game on Saturday? My guess would be no. But he certainly did well tonight. So well done to Emil Smith-Rowe. He got an assist for the second goal, and he played a big part in the first goal as well. So says Smith-Rowe playing a full 90 is very promising. Must be his first. Well, he isn't because he's just gone off now. So he's not played the full 90, has he? Greg says it's always a nervy game playing teams at the bottom. It can be. I mean, when you're at home, though, it shouldn't be quite as nervy, should it? You know, this is a sort of game that, you know, in the past, Man City have been 3 or 4-0 up early in the game and just seen it out. And yes, we've gone 2-0 up and seen it out maybe, but I don't know. It's been far from convincing, has it, this second half, you have to say. Ty says, never mind. You said it at the wrong time, didn't you? Just it was coming off. But anyway, Mark C says, some valuable time for us. Absolutely, yeah. No, and I thought he did well tonight. Yes, he did maybe run out of steam a little bit in the second half. And we didn't really have much attacking momentum either, did we? Which is that's when he's best, isn't it? When we're on the front foot and he can get the ball on a half turn and run into those little pockets of space. And, you know, he hasn't had the opportunity to do that in the second half because that's not how the game's played out. But I thought he did. He played a big part in the 2 goals. And he's played a crucial part in this game. He deserves another start on Saturday, but I don't think he'll get one. Anyway, Arsenal have just lost the ball. And now Luton are going to try and come forward again. Chong in possession over on that far side. He's done well since he's come on, hasn't he? You have to say he's had a decent impact on this game. Luton substitute scored a lot of goals lately. Ross Barkley now he's had a good game as well. Played it out to that far side. Luton looking for a goal now with 4 minutes to play down that far side. What's the cross like? Again, the cross is poor. It's going to fall out to the edge of the box. The shot comes in. Great block actually there from Gabriel, I think it was. The cross comes in again. Oh, and almost the Morris trying to get on the end of that there with a header. And in fact, I think the offside flag was up. And Morris, or was it a foul? Morris is finding it quite funny. He's had no service tonight, has he, the Luton centre forward, really. But he's certainly a big, strong lad, isn't he? But again, Luton have played some good football there. That is really good play. Overlap there from the fullback. Got all the way to the byline. The cross maybe wasn't quite good enough, was it? And though the shot came in, it took a good block from Gabriel inside the penalty area. And when the second cross came in, and there was a foul there, was it, by Morris? Very soft, but it probably was a foul. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal in the last 3 minutes. You do feel as though that's probably that. And even a Luton goal now will probably be too late for them to salvage something from this game. Even though they probably deserve a goal, don't they, for the way they've played. But anyway, they've just given it away. Eddie Nketiah now on the edge of the box. Tries a shot. Oh, and it's a good save actually down to his right-hand side from the goalkeeper, Kaminski there. It was his poor clearance out in the first place that caused that problem for Luton. Eddie Nketiah was with the shot from the edge of the box. And it was on target. It was a good hit actually. And the goalkeeper there at full stretch just managed to touch it round the post. Eddie's not played a lot of football lately, not scored a goal for a while. I don't think he scored, has he, since that hat-trick against Sheffield United here. Back in, was that October or something like that? So it's been a long time, hasn't it, since he's got a goal. But he came close there to one. We're into the last 2 minutes. Arsenal 2, Luton 0. It's a corner to Arsenal on this near side. Declan Rice is going to take it for Arsenal. He's had a lot of success from these corners, hasn't he, in recent weeks. What's this one like? It's not too bad. Here's a 6-yard box just about headed away, though, by Luton. But William Saliba is going to pick it up over on that far side. And Arsenal keep possession. Tomiyasu finds Jorginho, who's just come on. Ball through to Martin Ødegaard, bringing it forward. Is this going to be the time for the third goal? No, it isn't, because again, it's not a great ball for Martin Ødegaard. Although he got the important first goal, he's not had a great game tonight again, has he, Martin Ødegaard, really? And Not that it's going to matter too much in the end, I suppose. Anyway, Luton now into the final minute of the 90. It'll be a bit of stoppage time, won't there? 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, perhaps. There's not a lot of injuries, has there? There's been a lot of substitutions, obviously. And Luton coming forward now. Those to get a goal back there. It's only going to make it nervy last few minutes, isn't it? The cross comes in from this near side. Not a bad ball. And it's headed wide at the near post by Berry, the substitute there. He wasn't able to bury that header, was he? Under pressure from Gabriel. And it is going to be a goal kick to Arsenal, which David Raya is going to take. And we're going to find out how much stoppage time there is going to be as some of the fans start to leave the stadium already. And we'll see what stoppage time is. There won't be a big chunk, will there? I reckon maybe 4 minutes. The fourth official was just about to get that ball out and show us what stoppage time we'll have at the end of this game. David Raya, it is there with that kick, goal kick up this near side. Tomiyasu loses out on the header, but it's going to be a throw to Arsenal. And there is 4 minutes of stoppage time. 4 minutes there's going to be left to play here. And Arsenal should see this game out now in the end. And we'll take the 3 points, won't we? But it's not been anything to write home about, has it? It certainly hasn't been a riveting game at all. Even the first half, although we got the 2 goals, it wasn't a great performance from Arsenal then either, really, was it? But we've got the job done. And that's the main thing, isn't it? That's all you have to do at this point in the season, isn't it? Get the job done. And that is what we have done. It's a throw to Luton. 3.5 minutes of stoppage time remaining. And Arsenal very close to this 3 points, which will put us top of the table tonight, of course, with Liverpool not in action until tomorrow. And that was all that was needed. So in the end, the team changes that we made have come off to the point that we've won the game. It hasn't come off in terms of the performance, which has been really, really flat. And it almost like kind of probably justifies Mikel Arteta's faith in the players that he normally picks most games. And it certainly won't be, he's not going to make too many changes from the normal team on Saturdays. Luton coming forward again. And Berry couldn't quite flick that on. And it's run all the way through to David Raya. We've played a minute and a half of stoppage time. And Emile Smith-Rowe has been given player of the match. And I think that's deserved. He had a decent game, didn't he? I mean, if you're looking at it probably from a neutral perspective, you'd probably give it to one of the Luton players in actual fact. But I think certainly for Arsenal, Smith-Rowe's had the biggest impact on the game. It was him winning the ball that set up the opening goal. And it was his cross that led to the own goal for the second goal right on half-time as well. So he fully deserves player of the match, Emile Smith-Rowe. But will it be enough for Mikel Arteta to be convinced to start him at Brighton on Saturday? I'm thinking probably not. We're halfway through the 4 minutes of stoppage time. We're just counting down to another 3 points for Arsenal. And I say we'll be top of the league tonight for the first time in April. But it might not be for very long because I think it'll be a major shock if Liverpool don't pick up 3 points tomorrow at home to Sheffield United. But who knows? Shocks happen in football, don't they? And that would probably be the biggest shock of all, wouldn't it? If that was the case. Luton have got a throw on this near side. And if they do score now, you do feel it is far too late for them if they're going to salvage anything from this game. But they do probably deserve a goal, actually, for their second half performance in particular, which has been impressive. And they haven't given it up yet. They're still coming forward now on this near side again. And another cross comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed out at full stretch there by Gabriel. But again, Luton have picked the ball up on this near side. They certainly haven't. They still fancy their chances of a goal here, don't they, Luton? Ross Barkley does a really nice little pass there. And Arsenal got everyone back now behind the ball on the edge of our own penalty area as Luton try to find a breakthrough. It is only going to be a consolation now if they were to get one, you do feel. And again, they're going to go on the outside on this near side, put a cross in. No, the ball comes back instead to Ross Barkley. He's going to dink across towards the far post, looking for Chong. Wasn't a great ball, headed out. It does come to Chong now, over on that far side. We're into the last 30 seconds of stoppage time. Are Luton going to give their fans something to cheer about here? In fact, cross comes in there. It was well defended in the end. Another cross comes in again. A header comes in. It's over the top of the crossbar. That's probably going to be that, isn't it? That was Ross Barkley there. Got at the end of that cross. Couldn't direct his header into the goal. And you do feel as though that is going to be that now. Nathan says, not a great performance, but job done. Players knew the game was done at half time. Yeah, I think you're right. Thanks for the comments. Have a nice night. And yourself, my friend. You have a good night. We'll see you very soon, I'm sure. Hope you're doing well. In fact, there goes the full-time whistle. It has finished here at the Emirates. Not a great game, let's be honest. It won't live long in the memory, but the 3 points are all that matters. We are back on top of the table. The 2 first-half goals from Martin Ødegaard and the own goal from Daki Hashioka made it a comfortable victory in the end, but it certainly wasn't a comfortable performance from Arsenal, was it? We looked very disjointed, a lot of changes to the team. It wasn't our most free-flowing game, was it, this season? And in the end, Luton played well, especially in the second half. They had a lot of possession. They had a few half chances, but we got the job done. It is 2-0 to Arsenal. We are top of the league. But well done, Luton, and I hope they stay up there. Start of the season, I want him to go down, mainly for 1988, if I'm honest. But having seen them play a few times this season, in the 2 games against us, they've done well. The 2 Japanese players there in good conversation there. And it was, of course, the own goal by the Luton defender that gave us the comfortable breathing space that we needed. Phil says, job done. Exactly, yeah, job done. That's pretty much all you can say about this game. It was just job done. Nothing, I'd say not really any of the players out there that don't normally play didn't really do themselves any favours. Smith Rowe played okay, didn't he? And he'll have a chance of being picked on Saturday, but I still don't think he will. Mark C says a win's a win. Exactly, yeah. Greg says gain 3 points, all that matters. Move on to the next one. Yeah, I agree with you. Evgeny says, well done, ESR, man of the match. Indeed, he was. And he did play well, Emil Smith Rowe. He looks like he's limping a little bit, though, which is a slight worry. But that could just be a cramp, couldn't it? Because he hasn't played much football lately. But he had a big impact on that game. Nice there, the Luton manager, Rob Edwards there. Nice thing to say about Smith. I think he just said, well played, which is nice, isn't it? And he did play well tonight. And, you know, it wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great Arsenal performance. He's a Luton fan. Looks a bit like Arsene Wenger, doesn't he? With a Luton flag, Luton scarf there. But yeah, but at this point in the season, the performances don't really matter, do they? The only thing that matters is the result, the 3 points in the bag, and that's what we've got. And yes, we're going to have to play better on Saturday away at Brighton. Of course we are. If we play as we did today on Saturday, we'll probably lose because Brighton are a decent team. And I'm sure we will play better. You do kind of play to the circumstances. You play to the opposition. You play the game you've got to play to get the result that you need. And I do think on Saturday against Brighton, we will play better. We'll have to play better. We'll set up differently. It'll be a different game, won't it? But yeah, the performance wasn't great, but the 3 points is great, of course, and we'll take it. Of course, we will. Terry says a win's a win. I don't care how we win them at this stage. Exactly, yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. You know, it's just win the games. That's all you've got to do. Just win at the games. Herman says good for ESR. He is actually a great. No, he's a great player. Yeah. And it was good that he did an impact in the game tonight. I say he played a big part in the 2 goals. And yeah, you know, we just gotta keep winning. Herbert says tight win. Yeah, of course he's a talented player. Now we know how good Emil Smith Rowe is, and it's good that he was finally able to get an opportunity tonight, and he's took it. And let's hope he gets another one at the weekend. But we'll see. So yeah. Not really too much we can say about that game tonight, can we? It was a poor game, let's be honest. It really was a poor game. But it doesn't matter. I'll take another 8 poor games in the Premier League if it means that we win them all and we end up top of the league. But as things stand, we are 1 point ahead of both Liverpool and Man City because Man City are currently beating Aston Villa by 2-1. Although Aston Villa aren't out of that game yet, are they? But you do feel as though from that position, Man City will win. So, yeah, they are still 2-1 up early in the second half there. Villa did, of course, equalise it. It finished Brentford 0, Brighton 0 in the other game tonight. Of course, it exciting games last night as well, wasn't there? West Ham and Tottenham, of course, with a draw. Newcastle Everton with a draw. Bournemouth beat Crystal Palace. Burnley and Wolves drew. And Nottingham Forest beat Fulham. So, yeah, exciting games as well. So, that's it for tonight then. It's finished here at the Emirates. Arsenal 2, Luton 0. Luton certainly didn't embarrass themselves on their first ever trip to the Emirates. In fact, they did more than that. They played really well. And, with a little bit more quality in the final third, they may well have got themselves a goal back. And who knows? It was just two, maybe sloppy pieces of defending from them that's cost them. Smith Rowe took advantage both times, won the ball and helped create the first goal for Martin Odegaard. And then it was Smith Rowe's cross that led to the own goal right on the stroke of half time for the second goal. The less said about the second half, the better. The possession stats for Luton will be probably really impressive. I don't know what they were, but they had most of the play in that second half. And Man City have that was their second goal there, just shown from Phil Foden. It is 2-1 to Manchester City. It was direct from a free kick, actually. A good free kick from Phil Foden. But anyway, the less said about that second half, the better. Or the less said about the whole game, really, the better. But we got the job done. Now the pressure's on Liverpool tomorrow, isn't it? Yes, they're at home to Sheffield United, and I'm sure they'll win. But at least we put them under pressure. That's what we've got to keep doing. Keep winning our games and keep making Liverpool have to win. Keep making City have to win. And that's all we can do. And we go again on Saturday in a much more difficult game away at Brighton. And I'm sure it'll be a much different Arsenal-looking team and a much better Arsenal performance. It's going to have to be, let's be honest. But we've got the job done tonight. We are top of the table. And that's all you can hope for, isn't it? Anything above that's a bonus, isn't it? A great performance at our 4 or 5-0 victory is a bonus at this point. When you get to this, the business end of the season, you just have to win. And we've won tonight and we'll take it, won't we? So thanks to all you guys for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure again, as always. And of course, we'll be back on Friday. An Arsenal Women's Show special. We will be looking back on that Continental Cup final. A great day it was, a great victory. So we'll talk about it. Obviously, Andreas will be with us talking about his experience down in Wolverhampton. I'll be talking about mine. And I'll be talking about him watching the Arsenal Man City game instead. But he has, of course, watched the Continental final as well. So join us for that on Friday at 7:45. It's a slightly later time now due to my work circumstances. So join me for that on Friday. Of course, Saturday evening, we'll be here 5:15. Brighton versus Arsenal, another massive game at the top of the Premier League. Let's hope for another, and I'll take another scrappy victory all day long on Saturday as well. I'll take a load more of them. Doesn't matter, does it? Terry says, Richard, great show and comms again. Bit disappointed in the chat for not hitting the thumbs up button. Take care all. See you on Friday. Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? But as long as we had enough people watching, so thank you to everyone. Greg says, thanks, Rich. Good as always. Lots of love during your family, Terry. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, just, Terry's been such a big part of this channel pretty much from day one. Obviously, such a, it's a difficult time for him at the minute. It's great that he's managed to come on the show tonight and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously, all our thoughts are obviously with Terry and his family, of course, through this difficult time. And yeah, let's hope Arsenal can win the league, and that'll be a great way to finish things off, won't it? Mark C says, "Yeah, on we go to Saturday." Exactly, yeah. Just keep knocking the games off. The more games that go down, the more 3 points we get. That's all we can do, isn't it? That's all we can do. But it's going to be a totally different game on Saturday, isn't it? Away at Brighton, we're going to have to be really on it if we're going to win that game, and we have to win, don't we? And yeah, let's hope that we do. So join me for that as well. Regenda says, "Bye, Rich, coming to Gunners at best commentary still." No, very much, my friend. I say you've been a big supporter of the channel as well. So many of you guys actually. You're in every game, you're in every show that we do. And I really appreciate that. And it's great that we've built up this nice little community between us, haven't we, over the last few years. And I'm glad that you guys are still with us, which is great. And obviously new people have got on board with us as well, haven't they? So yeah, that's it for tonight then. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea, I think, because it's about that time, isn't it? So I'll see you Friday at 7:45 for the women's show. That's going to be a great show, that, isn't it? Looking back on that great weekend we had in Wolverhampton. So join me for that. Of course, Saturday evening, the late kickoff, Arsenal away at Brighton. So that's another difficult game. Let's get those 3 points, shall we? Herman says, "I'll see you again soon. Greetings." Yeah, thank you, my friend, all the way from Toronto there. Herman. We still believe he's our oldest viewer. We do believe he is still. So he's still got that record until maybe someone older comes in and beats it. But so far, Herman's definitely got that record. So thank you very much for joining us again. So it finished Arsenal 2, Luton. We're top of the league tonight. Actually, we are top of the league tonight, which is good. So why don't we just play this briefly? Well, we are until tomorrow anyway, certainly. Maybe beyond that. Depends if Sheffield United can turn up and decide to actually realise they're a football team. Who knows? But I'm not expecting anything other than a Liverpool victory tomorrow. But so let's not worry about them. Let's concentrate on us. We won tonight. Let's win Saturday. Let's go again. Let's do this. And let's finish on top where we are now. That'd be great, wouldn't it? So thanks for watching tonight, guys. I will see you Friday at 7:45 for the Arsenal Women's Channel, Saturday at 5:15 for the Brighton game. Thanks for watching tonight. We're top of the league. Come on, you Gunners. And I'll see you Friday.